play. You know something I always... Oh, we a little echoey?
Calvin, can you mute all of them? Mute all the tracks.
Me and my young old man sounds.
Ting.
And we're
Live.
You know what I always wondered? Like, or like really think about... at the
No, I
start
don't
of
know.
Every podcast. Should I put my headphones behind my bun or in front of my bun? I think about that
My
every
buns.
podcast.
My buns are hot.
So leave a comment section down below.
I would say in front. Whatever
front or
feels
behind the
comfortable to
bun?
you. Whatever's more comfortable.
Because I feel like it just falls back behind the bun. It's a little weird. I feel like I look weird. I mean, I can't see myself, but I just feel like I look weird.
It just looks like
Imagine leaving the Starbucks cup in the
headphones.
shower.
a little cum rag.
Cum tissue.
It is fucking disgusting.
Jason's cum tissue.
Production team is just awful.
That
It's
one's
like-
for the visuals.
Just kidding.
Rewind it if you missed it.
I was just thinking I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing. I'm gonna do like a day, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just do them all. Schedule them for release.
Anyways, episode 15?
17.
17.
This man is
16.
lost in this sauce.
17. Oh, I never watched the clip to tell my story.
You were on yesterday. And it was 16.
Yeah.
It's alright. To anyone who, for behind the scenes, what time did you go to bed? You saw when Calvin went to bed.
Like
And that was at like 2.
5:30. I think we all went
3.
to sleep.
5:30.
Yeah.
I went to bed at like 7. And then we were up at like 11 at the latest.
Yeah.
So, that's not that long of sleep. And then we had a full day.
Mm-hmm.
Did 9 holes on the
course.
on the Wii golf course.
Resort.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
after
I crushed him.
after me and Eddie just fell on that one hole, I was like, well, I'm about to say at the end of this game, I have to be like, well, you haven't beat me in 18 yet. And then Calvin proceeds to his last 3 holes score like 25.
Yeah, the game was not in my favor.
Yeah, I scored
I'm pretty nice on
27 points.
Yeah.
I scored a +6, so it was not good. My record is -11. And it's crazy when you're on one of those streaks and you realize you messed up the -18. Like the one -11, I got birdie on like the first 7 holes. So I was like -7. I'm like, oh, I'm on pace. You can eagle one of these if you play it right. If you get the good wind. And then I just messed it up. And I was like, damn. But then I got to -11. So,
Not bad.
yeah.
Nice.
On my sister's, on the Wii U, I hit it out the bunker in. Like, off the bunker, roll in. It was so nice for a birdie. It was
That's
sick.
fire.
It was on one of my streaks. I'm definitely nice at that. I haven't tried the switch, but you said it was
It's pretty.
not as challenging, I guess.
Yeah, it just feels because
Like they give it to you, like
a
gimme,
little bit more.
more gimme,
Yeah,
versus like
like
no gimme.
Yeah, at the Wii, if you screwed up, you screwed up.
Yeah.
But it just felt like with the Switch, like I don't know, there were shots that like I would hit, and it was either it wasn't ever over or under. There were shots that like I knew I would have blown it if I was on the Wii. Like that would have gone so ugly, but it didn't go as far or curve as far as I knew it should have. And then there were shots that I was like, oh, I was so precise with this, but it just gave me a generic kind of shot because it wanted me to have the perfect shot by game standard. And I was just like, I feel robbed there.
Yeah. It's better when it's harder. I think that was
Yeah.
when we were talking about the Pokemon. That it's not the same. It's not Pokemon that it used to be, like the games, like now, where they're easier.
They stopped the challenging part of it. Yeah. I want to say it stopped getting hard like in the 6th generation.
True. Yeah, all the earlier ones, you're definitely different. It's definitely different. I mean, you can nuzlocke it, make it harder, but even so, like some of the newer ones, like even if you nuzlocke, it's not like your Pokemon aren't dying like that.
Yeah. Well, also, like, you're way over leveled. That's probably the new challenge, to stay under leveled.
Yeah.
And then Nuzlocke,
True.
it's like
But that's not as fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to like reach your levels and
have to use
in
different
battle.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
But it's still not hard. There's no challenge really to it.
But Jason and I were talking, and I was telling him, I was like, it's definitely a good strat. He was talking about how he had a Pidgey, but it wasn't really useful to him at the moment. And I was like, and he was talking about basically a strategy of having Pokemon that are over leveled. So you can't use them in like critical battles, like the rival or the gyms or whatever. But if you get into trouble, you can just throw this beast out, and he can take hits and he can attack. You know what I mean? Where it's not like
in the multi-gen log.
You're not like running to the Poke Center and you get trapped in the grass and you can't escape because you're slower. You just throw out Pidgey, and no matter what it is, he'll survive. And then if he's over leveled, he'll be fast enough to run away or whatever it is. You know?
Yeah.
So just having that strategy where, and then it gets you to use more Pokemon because now you're using these Pokemon just to boost up, and you get these Pokemon to actually battle with. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it. So that's a strategy for a Nuzlocke. But how did we get there? Oh yeah, just being hard, like games being not as hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why Wii Sports Golf was like is like the best one. Bowling is pretty simulated, but they have like that like like you can like straighten it out or whatever. I don't know. If it was just all wrist, I think that's the best. But the golf was like the most realistic, like out of all of them. And then and golf is hard, so it's not like you don't get gimmies in golf, you know, unless you bounce off the rock. But other than that, just handicap. So by making it easier, you're like you said, you feel cheated because it's not as much as it's not real and it's not like VR or whatever. You're not consumed into it, but since the feeling of it is like if you're playing, and once you can set yourself to how the parameters work within it, it feels as real as you can get without hitting a ball. Mm-hmm. You're just swinging, but you have to be swing straight, and it matters how your wrist is rotated and all that. So that's like super realistic. So it can bring you into it, and then if you do something like that where you get more gimmies and it makes it easier, then it takes you away from the feeling, making it less real, more of a video game, and more of like you're playing Mario Golf versus I'm trying to like just play, you know.
X.
So we play Wii Sports, and then you went to eat after that. Hit some porch time, all in between.
So what do y'all think the hardest game you had to play as a kid was?
Hardest game.
What do you mean as a kid?
Like when you were a kid, I guess I would say 12 is the cap, right? So when you turn a teenager, then you can't can't use any games you played between that time. But what was the hardest game for you to play, or what's the most challenging to you when you were 2 to 12 or however old you started playing video games?
When did Dark Souls come out? Because I played Dark Souls, and that's probably still to date the hardest game I played, just in terms of that's what it was meant to be. But hard to defeat, hard to play, hard to I died a lot, or
however you wanted to interpret that.
Maybe
Pokemon Fire Red before the internet.
You know, I forgot to do something on the camera. Pokemon Fire Red before the internet. That's a good answer. I gotta put my the camera on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, guys. Gonna try to get over one of you. Just ruining the podcast, huh?
And episode 17 is the bust.
Production team is.
I don't know who pays this guy.
I'm just gonna tell you when it cuts in so that you can make a cut on it, okay?
Oh, I gotta make a cut?
Yeah, because I'm about to move it.
I'm just kidding.
Did you not hit play?
Not really.
You didn't hit play when you came and looked at it?
No.
Oh no, we didn't get any.
This one's
I thought you said I'm starting it now.
Yeah, but I said I'm gonna go ahead and pause this as I'm walking over to put it on the charger. And I figured that you were gonna hit play.
No, I looked at it, just saw that. I didn't even look at it. It was recording. That's hilarious. All right. Whatever. 17. Okay, what's out right now? 12. So 13, 14, 15, and then 16 and 17. So
Calvin's out this time.
the fifth one. I'm not sure. I'm at the text Bree and say, steal Jackson's iPad and make a little draw a little technical difficulties thing.
Yeah.
We need that
Some kind of
for the beginning because I don't want to just put the logo again. We're 17 in,
True.
Yeah.
and I don't want to just put a picture of us in
I can
anything.
do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's a mission. I might do Tuesdays and Thursdays instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, just for the sake of time right now.
Mm.
Just do Tuesdays and Thursdays because I didn't do it right now. I'm not gonna right after this go upstairs and you know what I mean. So tomorrow I'll do it for Tuesday, Thursday. So Tuesday would be 13. Thursday 14. Next Tuesday 15. The next Thursday 16, and then the Tuesday after that 17. So 2 Tuesdays from now. Not tomorrow or this one, but 1, 2. We need that. That way I can before that, so that weekend, basically.
Heard.
That way, when we start this one off, it can start with the technical difficulties thing and just our voices for a little bit. No, cut it. Is it playing now?
Yeah, it's playing now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
And is it on Do Not Disturb?
It's on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, so you accomplished
Are you
everything you went over there for.
Yeah.
Well, good thing you disturbed yourself so we wouldn't know before we did the whole
The whole podcast.
audio.
No.
It was for the visual. There is no
Audio
visual.
listeners only.
No, remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
There is no visual.
There's no visual now.
They don't know what the cum rag looks like. What was it? What was this this mysterious object?
Maybe we can sell it on eBay one day.
But how would they know? PSA,
valid.
PSA 8.
we got 3 witnesses right here.
PSA cum rag. There's still 20% use left.
But so you said fire red, right?
Fire Red before the internet, I would say, because that was in my younger day. That was one of the first games that we were actually playing.
We could just do all time if it makes it easier. If you want
No,
to.
but all time. I don't know, a little different. You said Dark Souls.
Yeah. Younger, if we're talking younger, then definitely Super Mario Bros.
I was gonna say
'Cause,
Super Mario
yeah.
Bros too,
Yeah.
because it's
If you-
really hard. But
We
the
used
thing
to
about
play
Super
that
Mario Bros,
also-
it's pretty. It's you gotta jump, move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Pokemon, you can literally get stuck somewhere and you have no you gotta go talk to the NPC that tells you where to go next. You talk to him once, you forgot.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go talk to him again to just read. And eventually, if you walk, then it feels like you're walking in circles. You know, you can't go to this gym, can't do that, can't.
Yeah.
What am I? Continue on what you're saying. about
Definitely
Mario.
been in that same way, but just for the sake of I still haven't beaten that game, and I'm playing it as an adult now.
Which one?
The Super Mario Brothers World, Super Mario
On
Bros.
what?
World, on Super Nintendo,
On-
the last one.
Oh, okay.
That- the
So you're
big
going
That
old,
game is hard,
yeah.
man.
The main one I
think
played,
1993. Fact check me on that.
number 1 on the Game Boy Advance was predominant, and I remember the biggest one was Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah,
That was one of the
3's
best
dope,
ones.
too.
I remember
Yeah.
having that on the
Three's
Game Boy.
amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think that was probably, I would say, their best selling early
Mhm.
on Mario before you got to Sunshine and Galaxy, where you got RPG people now with
Mhm.
this Mario game. And they're like, oh my
Facts.
god, because those games were huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Sunshine, Mario
They're pretty
Galaxy.
dope too.
Yeah, man. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely one you could always They have it for the Switch, the 3-pack.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever felt like playing a Mario one, that's a good one. I would say pick that. I got on the PlayStation Store. I got Jack and Dexter 1, 2, 3, and the racing game, and I got Far Cry 3, 4, 5, all for $30. I was like, ding ding, scoop those. So now I have endless games, really. And I did during COVID. I hundo piece Jack and Dexter,
Nice.
but I missed 3 orbs. So my speed run time in that, because I was going fat. I was like killing it, and I was like, I haven't played enough to like actually contend with whoever out there is doing a Jack and Dexter speed run, you know. But my time would be as like a first pick it up since the first time you played it in years as a kid, and then play it. My run was pretty good. So now I'm a couple years down the road again, and I saw the place. I'm gonna get all I'm gonna do all of it, but I'm gonna make sure I get those orbs this time. Cause it's bro. You don't, just like I said about the Pokemon. It's like, it's not something you can look up. You can't look up. The only thing you love is where each orb is, and you like follow the dink dink dink, like the dotted visual map of the game. You know, but if you're trying to go find it, you got to go to you got to go for 2 of the levels, do some of the levels, look all around. You really try to find that, and it's basically the final level. There's a bunch of like, you're climbing a lot. There's a bunch of floors. So in one of those floors is a door, and you go in, and it's like a little ledge, and they're like up there. Easy to miss.
Facts.
You know, so I remember next time I'll thoroughly look through them, because I spent an extra like 2 hours looking for them. That's a speed run time. That's a lot of time lost.
We just finished the double 100 on Bully.
Oh, you just finished it? Because last time you said you were at 93%.
100% in the game,
100%.
100% in achievements on
nice.
PlayStation.
You know what sucks, dude? We were playing Fall Guys. I went to Maryland, and I brought my Xbox, and I was playing there, and I bought something from the store, so I got the achievement on the Microsoft store, but not the PlayStation, and it didn't give me it on the PlayStation. So now I have I have 2 trophies not got. The one that says you got all of them, and the one that says you bought like whatever 50 cosmetics from the store. And I have like 100. So I have to wait for whatever time they ever patch that. But because I remember I forgot, and I was like, what do I need to do? And I was like, oh my god, it's a dagger. Can't get 100%. But then I have proof that because I can go to the store and show you all the stuff that's bought. And it's like, there's 50 right there. Ding, 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 ding. You know? So I have the receipts that show me that I did 100% it, but it's not good. They're not going to give me the cred.
Yeah.
No cred, bro.
Where's the cred at?
Yeah. I got an empty bottle that I bought. What's that kid's name? I can't remember. He's like the gangster, Italian, like special needs kid in South Park. Timmy. You know, not Timmy as in like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Come on, Timmy.
His
or
nemesis.
Jimmy. And he always hangs out with Jimmy and Timmy, and he's like running some sort of elaborate scheme or gang, or I can't remember what his name is, but he's a funny character in that. So, and then we went to get some food. That was good. I felt very satisfied after that. Not with the service. That's hilarious because we were all at some way informed in the. So you always have that, like, Jason says I'm more like critical or more whatever. I'm just like, at the end of the day, whether you're gonna do like the fake personable, maybe it's not fake all the way, but it is, and like you're acting in a certain way, and you're just trying to reach whatever the, like, if you can reach like some sort of connection with the guest, and the guest feels more inclined, like anything to do to get the guest to feel like what you deserve is more. Boom, boom, boom. You know, whether it's talking about, and then if you have regulars talk about their kids, like all this stuff where you bring them in, but then new people, like their first time, you could give them that like grandiose experience, or, you know, but if like I've come where I've done that like way less. I was just like, I know I'm good at the acting thing, like I'm good at it now. Whatever, but what this past year has taught me is I'm tired of pretending. I'm not pretending anymore. But, you know, all the stuff that happened with the family and everything like that in the year, and all the tribulations and whatever that went through. Because this is the first year that I didn't see my mom or dad on Christmas. And I'm 27. So 26 years of my life on Christmas, I saw both my dad and my mom. Maybe not last year, actually. Maybe I saw my dad like a couple days after, and I saw my mom. So maybe not, like, it was the first year, so after 20. But 25, where both of them, and my dad, it was like, you know. But this time, like, I didn't see them.
Just move it to that.
But also just put it on the other side of your mic.
Yeah. All you gotta do is, just put this part of the cord. I mean, that's fine.
Is it fine?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh man.
Yeah, but so in that, so there was definitely a weird feeling for that in that sense. Now, obviously, not everyone has both parents or whatever, so it's not like it's an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
But after like 25 years, 26
Ryan
years,
was the first one.
you know, and it's not like they're around.
Ever experienced that?
No, definitely not. You know, and people who do experience it, good, like not congrats, but good for you. Like, no, but in the sense of like appreciate, because I feel like the Christmas time is like I feel like people get into like they want to bring you into that like grateful vibe where it's like you're grateful for what you have, your family around you, nice time. Like that's what the idea, like get to that, right? So not that people don't do that all the time. Most people don't. Most people probably don't think about when they wake up, like everything I'm grateful for. Some people wake up, it's like, fuck, I'm 10 minutes late for work. You know what I mean? And that's the first thought, depending on whatever is going on. So Christmas time being that, I feel like we naturally kind of get more, like we're more, the third dimensional plane is allowing that energy in more. So people are like, whatever. So, but if you do have that stuff, it's definitely something to be grateful for and like appreciate. Some people don't by choice or not by choice. I'm sure some people would love to have their mom or dad still there for their Christmas or whatever. But anyway, just going from what we went into that for was just the trials and everything that happened. At the end of the day, what it came down to, the reason why we didn't see my mom on Christmas and all that stuff was it came down, and it wasn't had to do with my mom, it had to do with other circumstances. But I wasn't pretending anymore. Like I'm not pretending. And so at that point, it's the balance. And now when I go to work, I'm not doing like the people who are like I'm seeing more often or whatever, and like I will give them a good interaction, of course, you know. And my regulars who want to talk to me more, I'll talk to them all day, you know. But I'm not going out. I'm not trying to build clientele anymore, and especially after the review thing and everything, like I'm not out here I'm not doing that, bro. I'm just gonna come to work. And why I brought all this up was if you're not gonna go above and beyond, what's the word? Persona wise, where you're gonna like, hey, how you doing? Like change your voice, you know, attend to every need. If they're an asshole, you're still super nice to them. All the things that like, if they're gonna put like how to be the best server or bartender or, you know,
just customer service.
Yeah, customers. That's the word. What would you do in those aspects? You know, if you're not gonna do one of those aspects of being like extra personable, extra nice, whatever, attentive to that, you got to make sure that what you are doing is getting them what they need and what they want, and being super attentive to that. If their drink's getting low, you get them the drink. You know, if they ask for something, you go do it. You know, and you do the things that it's a balance. You either make it so they know you're there, or you make it so that you pretend like you're not there. They don't have to worry you're there. And the stuff's just coming there. Once it's like you're telling the universe what you want, and it brings it to you. It's gonna bring you the food, what you wanted. Oh, I'm getting low on my drink. You go to take that last step, the other one's there. You're not like, you don't gotta interrupt your conversation to have it. So there's two sides where it's like you can do that. Now some people are gonna want to talk. Mm-hmm. So now I'm in the position where if people want to talk to me, I will. I'll make it a point to speak to them or whatever. But I'm not gonna sit and make myself available to do that. It's like that's what they want to do. They came here not to talk with themselves, but to have this whole thing. Some people just came to like talk to themselves. Some people I don't know why they came to eat together, you know. And that's tough when you gotta just battle like a super negative energy table, because you can't do the personable thing, and they're probably gonna be needy or like they're not gonna make your time like a good time, you know. So that's why when I go out, me as a person, I'm not expecting the person to have to like conversate with me and tell them about their life, and I'm not gonna tell them about my life. You know, if it's a cool person and we vibe and the energy's there, then yes. We will have a conversation. I'll be I'll be me, and blah blah blah. Once you can, but there's like a couple like check marks have to go. Okay, bet. Now I'm ready. Back in the day, I'll speak to anybody. Blah blah blah. I wasn't thinking about the boxes. I wasn't thinking about the check marks. I wasn't thinking about the future, like what this would bring. So now that I think about that, I'm careful. So it's like you got to have like your parameters. Just like if you're sports betting, you got to set, like every time I start winning on a strategy, I probably deviate from the strategy and then I lose. Or it doesn't work one time and I switch strategies and then I don't. So it's like to actually, you got to be like when you're at, like if we go to the casino, if I make double my money, I'm out, you know, or triple, whatever it is. And then if you're at quadruple, get out. You don't stay, you know, you get out because you told yourself that this is my guideline. If you stay out of your guidelines, you're gonna lose because it's rigged against you. So it's already rigged against you, you know, and you're trying to win off of it. Then you got to figure out what works, stick to your guidelines and always go through those, do that, stick to them because you might lose and you're going to win, but you should net profit versus net losses, you know? So I don't really know why I went into that, but.
Well, also I would say like talking about you said like serving the table and you like have the different energies and stuff like that. I feel like that kind of goes, and we were watching Dave Chappelle the other day, right?
Oh, what else? I meant to tell you before we left, and maybe on the way home, I was like, for your time you should drive, you should watch the Cat Williams, like with Shannon Sharp, start that podcast. It's like 2 hours and 45. So I was like that, but when I was already home sitting here, I was like, shit, I should have just told him to do that. You know? So something like that is like, I feel like when you're driving, like it's easy to do, whether it's our podcast, another podcast, whatever it is. That's one of those ideas. But
yeah,
what you're saying?
We was talking about like living your dream, like living in your dream, right? Mm-hmm. And like, in that moment in time, those two that really beat table, right? They were living in your dream, and in that sense of like, you're there, you're trying to get your money, you're trying to just get your money, get out, and go do what you're doing right here.
They're there to affect me.
Yeah.
It's a cause and effect, but it's like, yeah, whose story is it?
Yeah.
In this moment, who's more? Yeah, exactly. Who's the main character in the story? Who's the antagonist? Who's whatever? Mm-hmm. And that's why I said to Jason on another one, I was like, or maybe yesterday, I said it was just when it's an L, when a table is an L, you just gotta let it be an L, because the amount of money you can make off the other tables not being L's. Mm-hmm. But if you try to save that L, it's going to still be an L. Maybe not as bad, but then it's going to make the other ones, it's going to hurt the other ones. So say you have 3 tables going great, 1 table going bad. At the end, they're going to leave you $5. You save it so you get $10. But you hurt these 3 tables for all the time you spent at this table, going from now you had 20, now you had 10, 10, 10. So now you have 10, 10, 10, 10, $40, but you could have 20, 40, 65. And you would have made more money if you would just stick with these guys. And then hopefully those guys come back, and the next time they see you, they want you, and now you've built where the people who are more inclined to tip, if they start to like you and they want you, like how many people, like shout out to Trey, how many people will go in the yacht club? Oh, I'm about to cut that. Shout out to Trey. How many people go into the spot and then be like, is Trey there? Or ask for Trey or whatever. And it used to be me and him competing. Mm-hmm. Like it would be back and forth. Now it's, if people want to stay with me, they usually sit at the bar, you know? And then if not, they'll just go sit. If they don't really want to sit with me or they don't really care, they'll go sit at a table. And if it's my turn, they'll get landed at my table anyway. So, but it used to be combative. Now it's only really just Trey. Because Trey stays on that. He stays on walking up, smiling. Hey, guys. You know? And then when he turns, he's like this. He's like, hey, guys. And then he's like, when he walks away. So it's like smiling and just like dead face. I can see it. It's like that energy where it's like what Trey's really feeling. And then Trey's working. He's doing this. He's playing this card. He's also trying to get you everything you need. Because if you hit all the boxes, he's trying to be the best customer service. If you hit all the boxes, what they say or what is known is that this usually equates to that high 20+% tipping. Mm-hmm. You're trying to get not only 20, I'm trying to get 25, I'm trying to get 30. I'm trying to get that 20 on an 80, you know? That's what I want. fill it all the way. Don't do the suggested, fill it up, like, oh, $100. You know what I mean? I was already expecting, you know, and get that. So that's his angle. That's what he does, you know. But at this point, because it was the place, you know, the energy and everything, I've just stopped caring about that stuff. But what I do is make sure that you have all the water. You have
said do.
Yeah, twice I've done that today.
We laughed at it
Whatever.
both times.
Yeah, exactly.
Double do.
You do have your water, sodas, drinks. You get when you now. Sometimes the worst part is if you like don't put something in or that little slip up. You know, but that's what I look for when I go out. I look for attentiveness and just overall just respect for the thing. Like we said earlier, the person earlier like did not want to be there. It was apparent they didn't want to be there like right away. Mm-hmm. You know, and then it just like got a little worse each time. And now it's like now I'm even debating, do I want to tip you at all?
Yeah.
Yo, shit, sorry.
Hey, that was aggressive.
You know, and it's like I don't like now, but then now I'm putting that moral thing where it's like if I don't tip, wouldn't it like that will fuck me up later because I do this.
I feel the same.
You know,
I felt the same way.
And it's like so now it's like I'm gonna give you something. You know what I mean?
Even as we were talking about that, I've had a moment of just feeling really bad because I was like, crap, I did the thing I hate because I tipped 20% after I used the card.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I was like,
and I didn't even really think about it in the moment, but to the same extent, that's what he earned. So it was like it was. I'm even still kind of torn on it because I hate when people do that.
Eddie left 7.
Yeah.
And what'd you leave?
I think I left like a 6 and change.
6, so 13. And what was yours?
Ours
was like 40.
And that was the thing. Mine was like it was 32 after, and that was what I was looking at. But we used the $25 card,
so it was close to $100 table. So she should have been around $20 bucks. And if he was like if he would have done anything more, he would have gotten.
Well, I only tipped him 7 because that was like slightly less than 20%. It was like 18%.
Yeah, but Calvin didn't tip up to his thing. But if Calvin tips plus 10, and you go up, even if you get to 10 or you both do 10, just a little extra service or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, hooked it up with the extra.
Gave him the 10.
Hooked it up with the extra churro or whatever. You know what I mean? All those little things but just the little steps where it's like ding, 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 and then now you have to pretend. You're like. You know that if you don't do him, you're like, it's really detrimenting this guy. But at the same time, it's like he's not, like he in no way, shape, or form should be serving right now. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like.
Well, you said he sighed when you asked for more chips and sauce.
Yeah, he hit the like, you know, and it's like that's something you do when you walk away.
Yeah, but he hit it leaning over the table.
Yeah, and it's not, but we're also not that needy. Like everything we ask for is very. Concrete and like
chips
very.
It's also at a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Can we get some more? Like if you were attentive, even enough,
it would already been there.
You could have just brought extra and then just been like, okay, bet. And then the second go, do you want more? No, okay, yes, okay, cool, boom. Already bring it. He did bring the soda already. He didn't have to ask for that, but Cal made the point about the drinks already being how full they were. So it's like he was doing some of them, but he wasn't hitting. He wasn't doing the personal thing. He wasn't doing the intended thing. He was really like...
just lackluster.
Yeah. And it's like, at that point, it's like, now also, to be fair, we didn't choose to go to that one.
Yeah. That is valid.
That's the point. And then you look and it's expensive. It's like, not only is it like the other one is cheaper, and the vibe is better.
Yeah.
You know? And, well, I mean, we can still get churros and ice cream. So in my mind, I was like, that place is better. Mm-hmm. And that's why that place, well, obviously the dude told us why they were backed up, but that place was busy enough to have a 30, 45-minute wait. Well, this place was like a negative 25-minute wait.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Clear as day.
It was literally like a day and night.
But for us, it was better that because we honestly, where we were, where our energy was, like almost a hangover energy.
Yeah.
Not that we were drinking, just an energy hangover, a life hangover, just being, you're not the most best sleep. You've been doing things, you know, and it's not like we just sat around all day. We were active in some way. We did the knee football with Carter, like that. We're active points in the day. Bree was on the computer.
We also hadn't eaten.
Starting her journey on the logic, you know. What did you say?
So we also hadn't eaten at all at that point.
Oh, yeah, and we hadn't eaten. Mm-hmm. So we're like...
It was like 4 o'clock.
Drained.
We're like, yeah, we are very much drained in many ways. Mm-hmm. You know, so being in a place where it's hot, like high buzz, like zzz, like people are like chatting, zzz, like all that extra noise to
Just
like down in the bar, like the dark bar, just like like Monday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning, like Sunday morning, I'm 10 minutes late for work.
and like, and my other thing too is that, and anybody that serves, if your restaurant is dead, that means you do what you can for what you have. That doesn't mean you just beat and you take the L for the day.
Yeah.
And that's what his energy was.
Because also, us coming to him, in his story, we are people. We are the best people to come. We're going to order a little bit of everything. We're not going to run you around. We're going to be very precise when we ask for what we want because we do this or we know about it. So it's like, I want this. Okay, I'm going to ask for this. And then it's like, I say what I want. Calvin doesn't wait for him to come back to say what he wants. Calvin says what he wants too. Then he knows. Boom, boom. You know? So
and also, like, he came to our table maybe, like, what, 5 times total in that whole entire trip?
Yeah, we're there for, like, a good minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then, on top of the fact that since we are in the serving industry, and I am going to, more often than not, tip 20% or more, you know, and blah, 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 and you too, and things like that. So it's like, at that point, it's like, we are the best thing to come in for him.
Mm-hmm.
Easy money table. We're watching the football. We're having a good time. Get us some chips and salsa. Get us some sodas.
Not
some
even
water.
asking you to talk. Like, we weren't, like, just do your job.
Yeah. And he's
Like,
like, are you
that's
guys
all we
ready? We
asked
don't
you.
pull the, yeah. I'm like, give me 2 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I needed really 4. And then 4 minutes he comes back. So it was like, okay, boom. Like, I told you the information you needed when you're coming to this table as a work person, I gave you right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come back in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, and he comes back. Some people are going to hit you with and make you wait there for 2-3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now that sucks, you know.
Because I could be doing, who knows what
Yeah.
else. But, yeah.
Maybe
I
all
definitely
3 of
get
those
that.
earlier tables need to check out. And that's the most important time. They're done. They're ready to go. And then so you got to, and some people are more patient than others, and some people are ready. Some people's process of leaving is faster than others. You know, but when they're ready to go, you don't want them to wait 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You want to bring the check down, boom, like have a good night.
Flip the table, yeah.
It is funny you talk about the boxes too, because I've gotten good at just like knowing my boxes and hitting my boxes just by muscle memory, and that's what we do, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm very Trey in the sense of like I just keep it on because
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to be worrying about having to put it on.
but also that's a sense like, but you didn't at that place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's the difference. Where
That
you
is
are
true.
now, it's worth it. I'm not opposed to acting. I'm not opposed.
That is true.
You know, but the circumstances, I'm not pretending here no more. You are in a place of where it's relatively new. There's growth. There's so much. You have to do that. That's part of the job. That's why you're there. You know what I mean? But continue on.
But I've realized as we were talking that I sit down at a restaurant automatically at 22%. Like, I don't even care if I had to wait or if your host was on some bullshit. I'm never going to take that out on you. Because I know I've been in several situations where I'm like, I'd rather be seating tables myself while I'm busy. And so I automatically sit down with 22%, and you take it up or down. And so the fact that I tipped the way I did, like, he just kept bringing it down.
I usually rock in 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I heard a story of one person who, like, he put out, like, $20 in ones. And every time, everywhere he went, and every time, like, something, like, that he didn't like, he just, like, took one away. So it's just, like, you're watching, like, you know what I mean? Like, in one aspect, it's, like, funny and whatever. And the other aspect, it's, like, oh, like, you don't even do that. So ever since I heard that story, I took that perspective where it's, like, I'm not going to go, like, 20, 19, 21, 20. I'm going to go, like, 20. And then you earn 25, or you drop to 15. Ooh, now you're at 10. Like if you're at 10, now you've done.
Mm-hmm.
You've hit a bunch of boxes on the other side. Like, you don't want to hit these boxes. Like, don't hit this. Avoid like a Minesweeper. Too many mines, or the Crocodile Tooth game.
Yeah.
Too many crunches in a row. Like, getting crunched too many times.
I crunched 25 times. In a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah, the side really, like, hurt him, though. Because, like, I get it. I understand the side. Full-fledged, I understand the side. So I know how...
But it did, because it's like, bro,
Like-
like we're not... It could be so much worse.
We asked you
right
for
now.
chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant. if I sighed while somebody asked me for my for the go-to tabletop, like
on
I'd
top of the
be
fact that there's
asshole.
4 adults who haven't eaten, and it's 1 thing of chips and 1 like brown salsa and 1 red salsa. Between 4 people, that's a quarter of a thing in like 15 chips. No, not even, like 10 chips max.
Right.
Full devoted. So it's like, bro, like technically each one of us could have eaten 1 brown salsa and 1 red salsa and 1 thing of things. So technically we ate less than whatever because we only got 3 batches. But technically it should have been 4. You know, it's really a serving for 1 person, all the stuff. Not depending on, you know,
Well, I
or you
guess
could say 2.
Say 2. Yeah, you could argue for 2.
So we did 2 or whatever. And was it the 3rd time I asked him or the 2nd time?
I asked him when you
It was
asked
the
the 2
3rd
minutes. I said, "Can we get more chips and salsa?" Because I knew that
So it was the
that
3rd
wasn't gonna be
time.
enough.
At the same time, I was like, I hadn't felt satisfied with the chips yet. And then whatever. And it was good. So, you know.
And then it also wasn't like we were the table that we still have half a basket of chips asking for more. Our basket was empty.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we were out of chips.
and
Out of
salsa, we're
salsa.
scraping the...
Yeah. I literally poured it on the last chip.
Yeah. And then actually when we got the 3rd one, we did use it. Bree used the on her. She could have the
The
red
taco,
on it.
yeah.
And I had some before I, you know. We didn't, I don't think we finished those ones off. But still, in that moment, all I had to do was just suck it up for 1 second, run back there, go scoop 2 things of salsa real quick, grab the chips from the thing, put it in there, come back. We're not going to ask for another one at that point. Maybe you don't know that. But if he doesn't, then at that point, he doesn't get hurt by that sigh. Boom, boom. We're eating. We're good now.
And you had to do it anyway.
You know?
You did it anyway.
Right.
Like you just
And then
you
we
took
asked
money
for
out of your pocket.
checks, boxes, and dessert all at once. Then we ate a dessert and left.
Then I asked for a bag during the dessert when he took the things. You're gonna come back in it. I'm not gonna run you.
Yeah. So it's just like in that perspective of if you are slow, you can't mess up your money by not. And that's why it's like you don't have to be the personal way. I don't have to pretend, you know. But then if you don't, you gotta do the baseline. What are they here for? They're here for, like, my perspective is I just try to get them what they want. I try to figure out what they want as fast as possible and get them that. So it's like I'm really like almost reading their mind. Like this person, I'm like, they're probably gonna get fried shrimp. Fried shrimp, okay, boom. And I can see them deciding. I'm like, cheese grits, okay, boom, cool. And I'm like reading them, helping me read people, and also helping me in that sense where, Cat Williams made a joke where it's like there's like 5 types of people or whatever. You know, we're kind of just categorized like the same energy people, kind of like whatever, and then it makes it so when we were talking about earlier the subconscious algorithm of being at work and the fluidity of it, and where it's like you know the PS where you're going do before you even do it. It's like you know the pattern, almost like a constellation in the system. So it's like by doing that and being fluid in that, and then
especially now, because I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about it earlier, but using the tablet now at that job.
Because if you can tablet and look up, like look down, they're just like texting and driving. People do it all the fucking time. Look down, look up, look down, look up, but then they're still texting and looking up, and then they look down.
Like how you hit the mic on the way back up.
Then they go. And then they hit it. Then they look down. There's like 4 letters, all like AHIE, and you're like, no. You know. But if you had the tablet, because that's one thing I think with the tablet, like the writing, like I can write, I can start writing and look up.
Yeah.
The tablet, you know, I find people are like this, just like their phone. Listening, what can I get you? And you lose.
See, and that's
that little thing where it's like,
where
I'm not even writing it down sometimes. I'm just listening to what you want. And then I walk 15 steps, and I relay what I heard 2 minutes ago or a minute ago.
Yeah.
And 85, 9% of the time, I'm getting it perfectly right.
I do that with the tablet a lot. That's usually, especially at the start, like if I'm putting in drinks and like table and all of that jazz, I'm not gonna sit there and like that. I don't feel like the first interaction you should have with me should have anything to do with technology.
Are we
like,
recording on the mic? Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we're good. It's red. All right, sorry to cut you
We're
off.
at
$13.95.
1995.
96.
It was actually hilarious because at
97.
12:50 or whatever yesterday is when I made the first air in the podcast yesterday, and I had a thought at the beginning of the podcast. I was like, it's been a while since I actually had to edit the podcast. Like I gotta
Facts.
go, and for whatever reason, the program in the phone, Jason's phone, I don't know, our BPMs were different, so I had to like every 15 minutes, depending on every 8 to 15 minutes, it goes from being like right in line to like the video
audio.
gets slower. Like the mic audio goes faster than the video audio. So then it's like us talking normally, and then all of a sudden, if you skip to the end, it's like me talking, but then me is like delayed. So I gotta go back.
Kind of how like football does from time to time.
Yeah. And then it's like, or almost like the subtitles to the words. You hear the words and the subtitles come.
Yeah.
So it's like me not just gonna let that I got it. But it also helps me out because now when I go every like 5 minutes and I look, and then when it gets to like where I can move it one full section over, that's when I cut it. Move it one full section over, because it's very minimal when it's down to those little ticks, like milliseconds. So if you're really looking at it, it's off. But naturally in the flow, just like we were talking about yesterday with the voice traveling, naturally when you get that same perception where you hear it, but the voice travels to you, so it doesn't look weird. But then when it gets when it does get off farther than what should naturally look like, then you can tell.
Yeah.
So then it's like, so I just cut it whenever it gets to 1, and usually it's like a big clip or like someone going like one of those P's or whatever. I see it and it spikes a little bit, so I can easily match them up. And I just zoom in, cut it, move it 1 over, and I go. But then when I do that, I hear all the topics during it. So I'm hearing like, okay, we talked about Pokemon, then we talked about restaurant, then we talked about this, and so now when I get to the end, I have all the topics because I just went through them.
Nice.
Facts.
But this took me some doing, like, to do it, and then one thing I'd experienced was when you bounce it, like, it'll overexpose the video. So you have to like change the setting based off the iPhone, because it's like basically the iPhone is doing so much with the video, like like the color scheme, and then the program is trying to back it up, but they don't align. So you have to like either tinker it, so you can make it super whatever color, however you want. But then what you have to do is basically just bring it back to the old software, like bring it back a generation, and then it like the lighting or whatever. So I had to figure that out, and it took me some time. But now that I do it, I just open the last podcast, check the parameters, put the parameters in. I use like the same like I'll put in the video and I'll minus the brightness, like minus 17, and then I'll just judge it honestly how dark Calvin looks. And like, does Calvin look too dark? And then I look if Eddie looks too white, because the glare will make it where like you'll be like not super white, but it'll look like you're whiter. You know what I mean? It'll look like the glare. So I'll be like, Eddie looks too white, or Calvin looks too too black. I'm like, okay, I gotta figure it. What do they actually look like? And then so minus 17 got to that. And so I don't know. It's just funny.
Good balance.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the camera was like
And this is
pointing
podcast 17.
at you guys, right? So so you guys in the middle. So it's like, ding ding, and I'm looking straight at him, like thinking. It's pretty funny,
Oh man.
But I don't remember how we got there either.
Speaking of that,
I haven't been good at keeping my train.
when we were playing,
My Catan longest
Bully
road isn't
today.
good. I'm too spread out.
We actually played Catan before we came here.
Oh, nice, facts. Okay, nice.
Bree won
I'm
by
on a-
taking longest road.
Okay, before you
L
start,
Street.
so that's what so we'll come back to when you guys left. Next segue.
Okay.
So
Heard. But when we finished Bully, one of the things you have to do is like take a picture of all the different students for the yearbook, and I noticed that like they weren't all different backgrounds in the actual yearbook, and it made me think about how, and I like kind of started chuckling to myself, and I was gonna say it to you, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna save it for the podcast. But I remember how freaking ridiculous. I don't know who our high school got to do our photos for football. like our, because they went on big banners too. When you're a senior, you get your,
Yeah.
and
I've
so
seen that.
you get your like banner with you on it, and it's you in your uniform. Every single black banner, every single poor little black kid that had a banner, their green behind them is like 5 shades lighter, because this photographer didn't think about the fact that when you're photoing colored skin, you do need to change your lighting than when you are photoing a Caucasian, because it's not the same. They are absorbing light differently.
Yeah, 100%.
And so every single black kid on the football team, and I have mine still, and so I'll show you one day,
lit.
and I'll need to find a picture of like
You need to
of a white
and we'll
kid.
put it in the thing.
Yeah,
Just like the
But
beginning.
it's like,
It's gonna be
you
a lot of editing in this.
and I'm not
That's right.
super dark either, but you could tell, you could blatantly see that they just went in and brightness up. Like they didn't touch it up. They didn't contrast it to make it match the red. Like they were just like, oh, black kid, do. Because, and to be fair, we went to a very Caucasian heavy school, so there's only so many of us.
Yeah.
Even though it's the
You
football
figure they'll
team.
get it right. Like,
And so,
let's not get the whole school.
you could tell they're like, and this same preset works for everybody else. We'll just
man.
yeah. And so that was one of the things that
That's
I thought about
hilarious.
today. And then we started talking about lighting and the different lighting.
It is hilarious though.
And yeah, it's very funny. I thought it was freaking hysterical because I remember being a freshman.
I'll tell a story
seeing
for
that
Jason.
group of
I don't know.
seniors and laughing at that.
There's 2 conflicting stories. I can't remember 100%, so I'm not gonna say the one part because I can't remember if it's part of it. But basically, it's like picture day or whatever, and I can't remember if you had to go after school or if he missed it. Oh no! This is senior year. So our senior year at our high school, you could do either like where you go to community college and do co-classes, or you can like work or whatever. So Jason and I Jason worked at Geno's, and I had a job at where did I work? I refereed basketball was my first job, and then I worked at like a gym. I did like the front desk at a gym just to get and I quit sometime during the school year, but they didn't make you go back to school, whatever. So we only take 2 classes a day, so we got out at 10:30. Go in at 7:17, we get out at 10:25.
Fact.
So Jason gets out of school at 10:25, proceeds to indulge in after school activities, and man's got like bloodshot eyes. He's got to go back for the school pic photos. So he puts Visine in, but one of the eyes he doesn't actually get it in his eye, he thinks he does or whatever. So when he goes to his picture, his senior picture is one eye like fully open and one eye like half closed, like one stoned eye and one open eye. And it's like on my dad's mantle, you can always see it. It's hilarious. And on my grandma's, like his, it's so funny.
I think I've seen that picture before.
It's hilarious, dude.
hysterical.
It's literally just like, yeah. And he's like, and it's red. Yeah, oh, it's hilarious. And it's just like the fact that he didn't get it. So every you look at that, it's so funny. And my thing is hilarious. Like if you look at my senior year photo, I got like buzz cut, I think. I can't remember if I started growing hair or not. And I had like braces and shit.
I think I've seen yours also.
And I was literally straight loser. Straight loser. And then you look at like my like graduation from college, and it's like me with long hair, like a beard, and I'm stoned in it. And then you like look if I put like a little plaque, it's like 3.7 underneath. It's just the transition is hilarious between those. But Jason's high school senior photo will always be fucking hilarious, bro. So he would tell that, and there's a blended story, and I can't remember if it's part of it. So I'll let him speak on it next time. But yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, picture day.
Good old picture day.
But yeah, so, and that, just to wrap up on the serving thing, I just feel like when I go out, I just expect what I would do. And my opinion is the bare minimum is to just try to get what they want, what they need, and try to be as useful as possible without being asked.
Mm. And the worst part was, like, you could tell the dude was good at his job.
Oh yeah, he was clean cut. He was good.
You could tell when
like
they're busy.
I gotta shave before I go to work next time.
Yeah.
But like
when they're busy, like
I went like
he's
this
probably
yesterday.
flying around doing a whole bunch of stuff, like on it. But because they were slow, he did not care.
So I mean, he might have been having going through whatever it is, but it's like, bro, like if it's that big of a, if it's gonna,
maybe he's like your friend at your spot.
Mm-hmm.
if it's gonna detriment you that much,
going through it.
if it's gonna detriment,
he was in the kitchen.
Same difference.
You could be sad boy in the kitchen. You can't be sad boy out on the floor.
yeah.
You can't out on the floor. It's a show.
Yeah.
Just like Disney.
If he was gonna be that miserable being there, he should have called out.
Mm-hmm.
One, and if he's good enough to keep, they wouldn't fire him even if he calls out and they were like, you can't, like, too bad. They wouldn't fire him because they need him or whatever. Or if not, why don't you just drive a minute down the road and go to the other one? That's popping.
Make more money.
There's so many of them, bro. There's so many of them down here. We talked about it the other day.
Yeah.
There's so many Mexican spots down here, and they're all similar. Like, bro, you're unless one dude owns them all or whatever. So if you like screw him over, you're out of the Mexican food industry. It's like a super deep web, secretly, But I'm sure it's not. So in that sense, like, you could just go to another one. So like, why are you tripping? You should just go home.
Right.
Like, you can't, like, you're not making any money by being here because you're not actually working.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like,
Going
you're trying to get to the end of the shift, but at the end of the day, it's gonna go slower that way.
Facts.
Always too.
Go slower that way.
Segue into something that's not work. What was the last thing that you said? Like, what I was about to say, and then I forgot what you said. Segue, and that was supposed to be the key word.
Oh, you guys went and played Catan.
Oh, Catan, yeah.
Yeah, after we parted ways.
Yeah. I came home, hit some porch time. Then I was watching, I think I got like 30 minutes left in the Cat Williams thing. And then I started watching the game. Yep.
Facts.
Then I paused the game. Dude, I got 2 out of 3 on the field goals.
Dang.
Seattle didn't kick one. And I wanted to do the Chiefs, but they weren't on there. It's like, damn it, bro.
So in Catan, right? We do 7 series sets. I feel like we've talked about it once or twice in the podcast before. But I'm up 3-2 right now on Bree. Calvin's gone on an 0-5 losing streak.
Wait, you play 1-on-1?
No, we play the 3 of us.
So
first to win 7 games gets like basically an overall point.
Oh,
so
so
I already have an overall.
point. So Bree has 2 wins.
But in this series,
to...
Bree's 2-3. He's 3-2. I'm 0-5. But I also said it from the jump. I was like, I want to go 0-6 and then just come back and sweep. And so I've been trying a whole lot of like crazy strategies. I feel like I've built every single game I've lost. I've built on the desert, like next to the desert, and taken the 2 instead of the.
I really thought I was gonna win that 4th game today too.
Yeah.
I thought I had Bree, and then she just like
Zoop zoop zoop.
took it somehow. I think it's because she crossed you, and you just didn't do anything about it.
Well, no, I just stopped doing anything. Period. Like, I cut all deals off with you as well.
Well, I didn't make any offers to you.
Shut off his pipeline.
I didn't need anything. I was like China in that game.
Yeah. Eddie was being.
Think of one thing. Nah.
Eddie thought he had it.
Thought I had it in the bag.
It'll be alright.
Bree steals longest road for me in the last hour.
Nice.
Eddie's 3-0 in trivia.
I am 3-0 in trivia.
Eddie is not 3-0 in trivia.
I'm also 3-2 in Skippo.
Yeah. If Eddie gave me Skippo. Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that was yesterday.
That's cool.
Eddie won. We were 2-2.
Well, no, I think we were 3-3, and I'm 4-3.
I think we were both 2-3.
No, I think we were 3-3.
Won.
We were 3-3.
I'm 2-0 versus Amber in
I think
baseball.
we played 7 games with Skippo.
But what I do with Amber is every out of mine is an inning. And I got to get her out. 27 outs. So it'd be like, if I'm whopping her, I'll give her like an out or 2. But then it makes it way harder for me because then like there's sometimes where like she might actually get me.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
And then sometimes she'll be hitting. So I'm like actually running. She'll be scoring a lot. But then when it gets to the late innings, it's not in one day. It'll be like a couple innings a day back when we were playing. And there's a couple times where it was close, but then at the end, just start hammering balls and getting her out. So, but it really makes it dicey. Like I need to get her out right now. So I'm like spinning the ball. I'm trying to like get her to pop up. You know. So, but when she asks what the score is, I tell her we're not playing score. Cause she's competitive, but she's also like she's a sore loser.
Mm-hmm.
It's not someone that like you can give wins to. You can't give her anything. She's such a sore loser about it. Like you can't like give her a win and then like beat her and then cause then she'll cry or whatever. So you got to be like you just lose until you stop crying, then you'll win. And then I'm down to give her a win or whatever. Cause like it's like a sense where like I was talking about by myself on episode 15. I was like, there's a difference between like when you win, it's like what's your perception of winning? Like 17-16, is that winning? Is who had the best time? Is that winning? Is learning winning? You know, all these different things. In each moment, it could be different.
Right.
When it's the NBA championship, 17-16 matters. 4-3 in the series matters. You know, when it's the regular season, you know, maybe it's about getting the dude who only gets to shoot one time a game, get him 3 shots a game. You know, you lose out on some points or whatever, but get him some shots. You know, so like in a sense, like for kids, like when I play basketball, my analogy was you can't just let them go to the hoop every time. You got to block them. But you're way taller than them. You can't just keep blocking them because they'll never get a shot up. How are they going to get better? They can't shoot. Because obviously you're double the size. You can swat every time. So you got to pretend like you're going to swat so they shoot over you and they shoot and they learn how to shoot. And then when they get old and when they get bigger, then it's a more balanced. Then they'll act, you know what I mean? So it's like in that mode, you can give them wins there. But if the kid's going to turn around and throw it like, ha, 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 you can't give them that. You know what I mean? You can't give them the win to showboat until like, whatever. You give them the wins that when they raise their hands up, they're like, yeah. And you go, yeah, with them. It's a celebration versus, what's the word? Like whatever, like the ha-ha, you know? So, different. So, different people I'll do different things with, like, you know? Like, even, like, the golf thing. Like, unless I'm on pace for minus 18, like, I'm not going to try to get that. I'd rather it be, like, where it's minus, like, we're 2 strokes in, 1 stroke. Put pressure on myself. Can I clutch it at the end? You know, practice when it's close. Can I still clutch it? Like, don't always practice when you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't try as hard. As long as you guys do well, you should catch up. But then once you score 10, like, it doesn't matter, you know. But in a sense, especially earlier when we were earlier playing, it's like, I know I'm better.
Yeah.
I don't need proof. So it's like, even if you win one time.
Oh, yeah. I've only beaten you once. Yeah. I know you're way better than I am. It doesn't matter,
you know. But
I got lucky as hell.
You know, but I'm not invincible. I'm not the best ever. I'm sure there's a kid who could whop me. I'm sure there's a kid who's got minus 18 on there.
Mm-hmm. I
don't know who he is or where he is. And he's going to have to prove it. I'm not just going to take their word for it. There's got to be a picture or something. Because that's one thing you can't. If you have like the Wii on the TV, and your guy there with the record, you can't like wear it. Like, how do you fake that? You know?
Well, somebody else did it, but someone had to do it.
It doesn't matter, but that is there on your account of minus 18. You know?
Is that the achievement?
I don't know. Maybe you unlock you unlock the super course, like into space.
It's a whole golf course that no one but the minus 18.
You get sucked into it like Looney Tunes. Back in Space Jam.
We had the regular show episode like that too.
What?
Where Mordecai and Rigby get sucked into the video game.
Mm.
And they had to fight through it to get out. The same thing with, there's a couple different concepts like that, isn't there? Where people have talked about getting sucked into a video game.
Yeah, well, Jumanji.
I thought the regular show, the game came out. Because a couple different games in regular show came to real life.
I think it came out.
Because there was the one they were playing that they had the console for. There was also the game they were playing, the arcade game that came to life. Like, there were a couple games that came to reality.
Mm.
There's the Scooby-Doo movie where they went into the video game.
Is there one? It's an animated Scooby-Doo movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember.
So it was like a VR. kind of a deal.
It's newer.
No.
I want to say it's like 2005, 2006.
That's
probably.
interesting. The VR concepts back then, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Might be a little later than
Because
that.
that's not even really. That's like beginning iPhone, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Who's talking about VR for real?
Yeah.
I think in they called it like holographs. Like it was holographic.
I think they did call it holographs, but it was basically like VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like they
Star Wars
put on a
had
headset,
the
went into the game.
Star Trek. You know, what I mean, they had that. Like
I think I like Black Panthers best personally. The sand and the Kamara beads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are fire.
Yeah.
Thought that was dope. That concept. Because then it's more of like a gravity field.
But that's not that far away.
That's what I'm saying.
The holographic like FaceTime.
Because they got the shows.
Like imagine you guys at your house right now, and it's your holograms right here, and your hologram speaking to the mic.
Our avatars.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could make it however you want it. But like if you're like sitting at your house and you have a camera on you and it just pixelates you and you go, it's like
Technically we could.
and we're live, and you guys appear, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be fire.
Like that's not that far off.
I mean, technically
You know,
you could
holograms.
you could replicate it right now. Like if we had a projector in here, and you were just FaceTiming the projector, and we're on like a blank screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
Like,
not the
it's-
same. If like
I mean, yeah.
you could get up and walk out the room. You know what I'm saying?
That would
fire.
be. That would be like obviously.
You know?
But
then it would be like, you guys got to come for real, bro. I'm not trying to talk to you. Eventually, yeah. But in cases where it was necessary, you know, you could do it.
Mhm.
And like Star Wars, every single time they had a meeting, one motherfucker's not there. There's one hologram at least every time.
Facts.
So probably just to give you that essence of like that vibe.
They have
But
that technology.
That'd be an interesting concept though. Maybe like later on.
imagine work, bro. Work from home. They eliminate work from home because you can bring your hologram to work.
That'd be fire. That'd be fire.
Not to the people at home, because then they couldn't just like.
Like
But still.
like Spider-Verse, the girl in
I don't
Spider-Verse.
remember. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't 100% remember, but I remember her. But just like that, she is a hologram.
And she was Hollow Spidey
Yeah.
Yeah.
in her universe. But what else was I gonna say to tag along to that? Oh, I was gonna say maybe in like a later date. I don't know, episode 50, whatever. But I was thinking under the terms of like hosting the podcast on VR and like giving a chance for anybody with like we do the podcast in VR, and then anybody who has VR can come live audience through the VR. I feel like that'd be pretty dope. Something like that.
Ooh, yeah.
That would
The
go
live
kinda hard.
audience.
Yeah.
The holograms. Dude, that'd be sick, bro.
That'd be sick.
That's
Live
not that far
audience in
off.
that realm.
However, there's got to be a balance where it doesn't eliminate people from going out.
Yeah.
Like, instead of going to the comedy show, your hologram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's going to be, dude, just like anything. The phone, the iPhone, like, it comes to a point where it's a useful thing, and then it's like everything else. So it's like you got to, how much can you stay on the useful side of like a tool versus like a luxury, you know?
Holograms have rights too.
Hollow
Holograms
rights.
are people too. Hologram lives matter. Anyway,
No.
I like making work
No,
for
they
Ryan.
don't.
No, they don't.
They don't matter. It's like,
Would that be but
Too
then
much.
that's the question though. Is it like a physical thing? The hologram, right?
I
So,
would
like,
say it's like,
would my hologram have to travel here? Like, would it start? I plug in and my hologram's just like staring at me, like Avatar style. Like, I plug into the hologram, my hologram starts off by staring at me, and I have to get my hologram here.
I would say that, no, it's like,
because then what's the stop?
I would say it has to be like, I would have to have basically like a port for you and a port for Eddie.
Mm.
And then you can connect to wherever port, and your port scans you, whether you can sit, and if I'm sitting here, it's gonna be smart enough, obviously, that just like the Photoshop, it just crops me out,
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever. So if I stand up, I stand up. If I sit down, I sit down. And then just takes that part. And then me having a thing right there gives you where it's like, okay, your hologram comes here. This is where it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it can be like we're using Wi-Fi. It can facilitate the surrounding space that's around. But there would have to be a port that you connect to. Just like the Matrix, you got to jump in at some. So I would have to have one for you here, one for you. But then if you're at a office and you have all the cubicles, you go dink, 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 dink. Or like the office room, dink, dink, dink. You have 6 set up and like, all right, connect to, here's access to port 2. And you, all right, I'm joining in port 2, and then boom, and you, little pixels appear, and there you are. You know.
Would it be like that, or would it?
What'd you say? Yeah.
Invite link.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. Like Zoom call for.
Yeah, it would be. It would be the new. Yeah, it would be that. It would be.
I can respect that.
You know,
or
which
like,
would be better.
I feel like it'd work most.
And
like,
for FaceTime, like imagine like you have, you know, I'm on the porch, try to set up the thing, and you pull up, and I'm on your porch, and you're on my porch.
I feel like.
And we're just chatting.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And it's like FaceTime, but instead of having to do this, I can just do this.
That's what I was gonna say.
Still see, it'd be weird. You can see through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd give
it
2 years. 2 years before.
It's
we
not that
reach
far, bro.
That's what
no,
because
2
like,
years, yes.
You
but
look
it's
at
not in
you
grand
look at
scheme of life.
You look at MetaQuest bringing out all the augmented reality thing because
Yeah.
that's the big thing we're technically.
Well, Mark
talking
Zuckerberg was
about.
talking about that. He wants to do that.
Augmented
And once that
reality.
happens, then Pokemon
Oh yeah, become real.
Pokemon Go, and that's when we enter that space.
Yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
are running around catching Charizard, and that's when Pokemon Go will evolve from being an app to they'll take whatever they want from that game and they'll add it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really
It'd
hope
be fun, man.
that it happens.
And
my
Yu-Gi-Oh
lifetime.
too. You can do the Yu-Gi-Oh battles at that point,
Yeah.
just like
you
in the
should
show.
be able to do any of
Just
it.
like
I
in
want
the
to be
show.
able to Beyblade.
Yeah, but just like in the show, you pull up
I
and you
want-
fight Seto Kaiba. He's across from you, and you put your cards down, and Dark Magician pops up. You know,
That would be fire.
so
Well,
it's hilarious. Should probably ask for some food or something. Classic.
I would love to be a Pokemon trainer. That would be amazing. Just walking around the world.
It'd be
just
fun.
throwing Pokeballs.
And everywhere you go could be
It'd be
just like
terrifying
regions.
if you didn't get a starter.
But
You
how
know how
could-
terrifying it'd be to live in that world without a starter. If you weren't a trainer, and you just had to walk around and a freaking giant
Oh, like a
Beedrill
Spearow
appears
comes
out of
through.
nowhere.
Yeah, but it's holographic. There's nothing to be worried about.
I mean, yeah, obviously. But
Yeah.
even then,
All you need is
you
glasses.
forget the Go lens is on, so you're just walking. And you're walking normally, turn the corner, and there's a Beedrill. Or
Mhm.
you're at work, and you forget it's on, and then you look down, and it's just freaking...
Like that's what they're working on. Like glasses like yours right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the frames are literally computer.
Mm-hmm. And a
Facts.
camera.
You know. And
Well,
camera.
it's a screen.
Yeah,
The
but all
screen.
you need is little cameras, just like that. On the edges, they have those, and it projects the image. So you can project the hologram like that. So if you take the glasses off, you can't see, and it's not the lens, but the lens is computed to the hologram. So when the hologram is there, you can see it through the lens. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't obstruct your view, but then it's like you can turn them off, turn it on. You know, they have the watch. You can flip your bag.
Facts.
Do.
I'm surprised.
Pokeball.
I thought about that the other day.
You know
I'm
what I'm
surprised
saying?
we're not at that point to where like you can wear smart glasses to where when you look at your Apple Watch, you're seeing. I figured we'd be at that point
They're
by
doing
now.
something where it's glasses or something, but you go like this, and it reads on your hand.
That's pretty dope.
So that's like you can put the screen up at any moment.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what they're working on. Or whatever. So soon that stuff is gonna be, and Pokemon is gonna eat it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's gonna be a lot of things.
it's gonna be fun, man.
World changes on that day
Yeah.
when that's like
When I can go and catch a Charizard or go and that's
I'm
that's
thinking-
that's too.
I'm thinking once we're on like
And that's where Pokemon has to get back to, where they got to make sure that it's not easy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone can't just be a Pokemon trainer. You got to do some work to get to the, to be one. You can't just wake up and have a Lugia.
Yeah.
You got to search through the depths. You got to drive to Wichita to catch that one Pokemon that's only there.
What were you gonna say about the world?
The once we get to like the third, fourth iteration of those glasses, and like you can get the first gen for like $30-$40. Once we're at that point, because kind of like VR. Like originally, remember it was just you slid your phone into this big thing that looked like nerd glasses.
Yeah.
You could look around on your phone and it'd register where you were turning.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the Quest 3, and you can get one of those for $10 and you get it as a prize in a cereal box. And so once we're at the point where the actual augmented reality glasses are so like we have contacts now, and it's the world changes.
Contacts are gonna be crazy
because then
but that's what's scary. Though,
you're never not looking
of
at
the
the
they
screen.
live shit.
Yeah, you're
reverse glasses.
You're never not looking at the screen.
More into the Matrix.
If
you would put on these glasses instead of ours, it was the double. You gotta get them to take those glasses off and put these ones on. Like, but these ones don't. They don't have a computer in them. I can't. No, I'm not wearing those. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think I shouted "They Live Out" last time on the. Yeah. I was like, it's definitely one of the best movies.
Wally.
Yeah, on some Wally shit, bro. Everyone's fat, drinking burger milkshakes.
Would you try a burger milkshake? I definitely would.
I don't know. Is it brown like that crayon we had at
the restaurant?
We got one brown crayon.
We got one brown crayon for that whole kids menu. Yeah, I was not.
Not a red, blue, green.
The food is the only thing
not
that
a red,
saved
blue,
that.
yellow.
Because I would go back, I would give it another shot, and it's only because the food saved it.
The food
was
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Gas.
It's just
the chicken
but
was
it's-
kind of.
I'll go for lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely go for lunch. 1,000% on the money with that one. 1,000%. But yeah, we got a kids menu with one brown crayon. Like I'm not
That's
even
so
hating.
random.
I'm not even hating on
Right.
having the brown crayon because I'd love to color a brown kid. Like dope, but
They're
brown
they're
crayon.
They're trying to be all inclusive.
Imagine like the kids.
There's too many. There's too many blue people. Too many blue people on kids menus nowadays. Too many blue tigers. We need to fix this.
And this is how we get canceled. Cancel Cam.
I don't know. I don't think there's no. How can you get canceled if you're not?
Talking about blue tigers.
Tigers.
I guess you can get canceled later on, but it's not. There's
Oh, pre-canceling's definitely a thing, man. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like pre-ordering.
But at the end of the day, it's like
There are people out there waiting to pre-cancel stuff before
Like,
they even blow
at
up.
any time, bro. Like there'll be a time where if they really want to cancel you, they'll find some little thing to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
could
That
be
whole
like
concept. That whole concept to
you know,
me.
it could be like that guy who just like huffed at this everything. Like that little huff that's everywhere now. Look at this guy huffing while doing his job. Fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like that. So it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like I don't think we've said anything that's actually like worthy of getting like, you know what I mean? Like that's actually would be.
See, but not everything that gets canceled
is
either.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was telling Jason this earlier about something else. I was like, and he was talking about, I think he was talking about like the work relation, whatever, and the people. I was like, bro, like the people that are gonna like jump on that and do that, like I don't have time for those people. I'm not thinking about those people because there's too many people who are on the fence. You said it on the
podcast.
There's too many people who are on the fence. There's too many people that are all over the fence and they need guidance. They still need guidance because they don't know exactly where they want to go or they're on the right track or whatever. So it's like, why am I going to spend my time? Why am I going to spend my time trying to save the L table when these people know what I'm about and they love me for it and I'm going to go make sure that go rock with them and then they're going to be good and then they'll do better than I will. Now I got 3 tables all working on high prime, whatever, had better guys. I was telling like I don't have any empathy for my sister because of, or I don't feel bad for her because I didn't have me. She has 2 older brothers who are doing something with their lives, who are not just for themselves. It's not like she has 2 older brothers who are on drugs, failed out, blah, blah, blah. So Mama, you have 2 of the best role models on the planet. And you don't use them and all the other stuff that happened. So it's like I don't feel bad because there's people who are way worse. They don't have a brother or sister. They don't have they don't have guidance. They don't have whatever. I'm gonna jump on them instead of the people who join the circus and then send all the bots after you. Like, you know, like everyone, like eventually, no matter what, no matter how, if you're real and you get big enough, they will do things to block you up. Say you do this. Cat Williams was talking about how all three people, like Kevin Hart, like all these people were telling people like he does drugs. He's only smoked weed his entire life and nicotine, never touched a drug. You know, they saying that he was just talking about how the one person said that he like she was his assistant for 14 years and he did whatever to her, but she never worked for him. You know, and things like that. Like, so they're gonna do the things, and yes, there are gonna be people who are going to fall for it or jump on that or whatever. But those people aren't going to actually listen to the music and understand it. Again, I'm not looking for those people because that's what I was doing when I was in college. I was looking for anybody. Even the farthest out of reach, I'll still try to do something, whatever. And it's like, at that point, those people are only going to come on this side when it's now the majority. When it's cool to be positive and to want to live life and see the beauties of the world and love the people next to you, and just the common care for another person and the earth and the generations to come. Once that's the majority, not money and all the other stuff, you know, then people will do it. But right now it's 95% to 5, and then or 94, and then the 1% is like severely manipulating the 95. So out of 5% of people, only 5% of people are on what we're on. Okay? I don't need to talk to them. I need to talk to them in person. I need to meet with these people. We need to figure out what we can do. But we can't do what they do in Game of Thrones where all the people go into one spot and then Cersei blows it all up. All those people dead. So it's like we can't really go. We can't all meet at the stadium like the Super Bowl. 90,000 most real people in the world cannot meet up in one location because we will cease to exist.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out how to do that. We have to meet in groups, and then the telephone game has to be pure. Relay messages, information correctly. We have to do that all around and connect these people. And then the other side of it, within the 95%, you have the whole spectrum. Anyone who follows anything they've ever been told and blah, 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 to the people who are just smoke for the first time or they don't conform to the religion that their parents have tried it, whatever, and they're in that fragile mindset that I was in when I was 16 and 17 and 18 and then eventually 19 to 19. I usually go from 19 to 20. Now I'm 19. Before 19, after 19 are different. And leading up, 18, 17, 18, 19 were different. The lead up, you know. And then before that, I was a kid, 16. I was outside playing, knocking on every door, trying to get every kid outside every day. I'd rather play outside than in. So much of a kid, and then I got my license and whatever, and then alcohol seeps in and everything like that. But a lot of people start drinking when they're 9th grade, 8th grade. I started drinking when I was in like junior year, and I started really drinking junior year to senior, in the summer of junior year to senior year. So all that before that, all through sophomore year, like I'm literally like a 14, 15-year-old kid, bringing out the kids that are in middle school and elementary school to play on the street every day. Let's play football, manhunt, kick the can, a new game we create, something. Let's do something, whatever. So that's what I was on way back when, and then 19 came, and then now I'm 27, and the 8 years from 19 to 27 have been exponentially different than the beforehand, But it took people in the world, the Flatbush Zombies, Joey Badass, Capital Steez, rest in peace, Mac Miller in certain ways. Mac Miller, even the journey of Mac Miller is different than when you first met him. Right. That's why Mac Miller is so great, because the journey that you can go on when you find him. Not just, it's like one, whatever. Unfortunately, Capital Steez, his last music hasn't been released yet, because whatever his family's, I don't know what his family's doing, whatever. But, it's tough to see that won't come, it hasn't come out yet. But Flatbush Zombies, Mick Jenkins, Joey Badass, Underachievers, Pro Era, those guys were just people that I was like, bro, what the hell? Like, these people are the best. They're they're telling you great things, right? And then I found Bob Marley, and that's what reopened me to music. And I was like, oh wait, there isn't just these guys. You can be a different genre and still make real music. Because when you hear the other genres, it's the shit that's on the radio. Like, no offense to Fetty Wap, but Fetty Wap busting through those times, you know, all those songs where it's like, yeah, they're fun songs or whatever, but they're not really teaching you anything. They're not giving you knowledge and whatever, like Damian Marley and Nas, and you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, now these people are giving you whatever, but then I realized that Bob Marley, he's not rapping, and this is one of the purest forms of music we've ever experienced. Holy shit! And now I'm like, now I realize like music is not just like rap or whatever, but music is based off what is the intention, what's the feeling, what is behind this, who wrote it, is it written for, are they tagging points, checking boxes? You got to say guns, money, violence. Cool. Ding ding ding. This song is, this guy knows how to make that beat. Oh, boom, perfect. We'll get your voice like this. Boom, perfect. Send it out. You know, then you hear that song, and then you hear that song version A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all different artists. Ding, 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 all the way. And it all sounds good because, yeah, you like that particular sound, you know? But it's not really teaching. It's not really learning. People aren't really getting from that. So, but the kid at the time, me as a 18, 19-year-old kid, if you put me, Joey Badass, and someone else, like, I'm going to Joey Badass. And I'm going to listen to him, and I'm going to listen to what he was saying at that time and whatever, over almost anyone else. You couldn't tell me anyone else. So it was like, because most of the stuff people were trying to show me was just like lit shit. So it was like, those kids are out there. Those kids are waiting. Those kids are on the fence between what is real and what is not real. Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Has everything I've told been a lie? What do I know? All those things. And then you get to a point where you start, but then the people around you start telling you whatever, so you second guess yourself. And you got to go through the second guess of being the person who's progressing in front of all the people around you. And you got to do that. And then they're going to try to hold you back because they don't understand, and they're scared and whatever, and they're going to put their fears and reflections on you. And then if you don't perceive them correctly, you're going to change the way you move because of that. So now as a kid, and at that point in time, 2014, like, not many people are speaking like this at all. Jason made a point the other day about he has a video from whatever speaking the same things we've been speaking now, but just smarter, just more elegant, yes. And not just trying to spew it to everyone I know. Like, hey, did you know? Because you might be saying, hey, did you know, to the person who can spin kick you in the back of the head. Because they're like, shut the hell up about that. And you're just trying to be like, what? You should know about this. And they're like, yeah. Do you want to join us? You know? And that's like how, so, but the kids, like, they've been influenced so much that we need people that are just real people. Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, you know, music artists that, you know, and it's not everyone's fault, because the way the music industry is set up is that it's not set up for, like, you to know the producer and the writer, where it's like, bro, did you know that, yo, bro, he's writing a song for him, bro, it's gonna be lit. It's like, oh, that's Drake's song, oh, that's this guy's song, he didn't write it, you know. But if the music industry is more just like the NFL, it's like saying that Tom Brady is the Patriots. Tom Brady's the Patriots. But we're not talking about the lineman and the offensive coordinator, and they called this play, and blah, blah, blah. We're just talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not the only guy. Right. There's so many. But NFL, we value the linemen. We value the tight ends. It's Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, right? We value that. In the music industry, we don't value that. The only people is a couple people like Metro Boomin or whatever, where they get hot, they get the beat tag, and you know that it's them, you know. But other than that, like, it's not like where you go to the app. They have it now, Spotify, you can see the credits, but it's not something that's like really talked about, where we've like separated the positions of the music industry, the different genres, you know, the subgenres of rap, like hip hop versus trap versus, you know, all these different things to really get people to understand, you know. Instead, it's just like the forced people in your face, who's this, who's that. And it's not anything wrong with it. Like, there's not anything wrong with Drake, but the sense that there's going to be a person who grows up thinking Drake is like the best rapper alive, not knowing that he didn't write everything or whatever, you know. And then on the other side, there's gonna be someone who wrote every lyric, made every beat, was a part of it, was a part of everything, you know. In that sense, where it's like those people are gonna get overshadowed. It's like those people should be represented too, you know. But kids nowadays we need people to tell the truth. So now, if I'm looking at the pond of people, how we got here, it's like, so like, in the way you deliver something, like if a comedian says something super fucked up, but he's saying it as a joke, you can say it. If you say something super fucked up and you mean it fucked up, then, you know, and that's why it's important. The way people hear you, all this stuff, like, they might be able to clip up 30 podcasts by the time we're done and put a clip of us. I'm wearing the same type of shirt. They could probably find 3 purple shirt ones. Ding, ding, ding. Or at least just take the audio and then match it with my ... you know, and you just match it. And then it could be a clip that's not even true. But I said black here, I said Asian here, and I said white here in 3 different podcasts, and they go ding, 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 clip, do. It's out there in 5 years.
Now you just have to go to 17.
You know, yeah, exactly. You know, but it's like we haven't said anything that's actually worthy of it. And yes, it could be classified of it, but the people who need to find us will find us because they put us in the light for that. What did they do? Wait, what did they do? Who are they? Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I actually like that. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, they're saying this? Oh, I knew there was something fishy about that person over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you start, like you said, all publicity is good publicity yesterday. Right. So in a way, how can I be canceled if I'm not even on yet? Now in 5 years, they could bring up a clip and cancel me and whatever. But at that point in time, we're going to be out of this. 5 years later is different than it is now. You know what I'm saying? We're not popular now trying to make moves now. We're trying to make moves and trying to better ourselves and grow so that when the things happen, we're ready and prepared. You know? So those things are going to come. There's going to be trials and tribulations. Little thing, your car might just stop working. Why? Chance? Maybe. Did you stay awake all night and look at your car? Do you have a camera on your car? They got lasers, bro. They can do anything. So in a simple sense is that there's ways that if they really want to get you, they'll get you. They might not be able to keep you, but they'll stump you up. So at the end of the day, it's like I'm not gonna sit here and try to nitpick everything I'm gonna say and whatever, because when I speak, it's honest. It's coming from my heart, and I am trying to find what is the thing that everyone needs to hear in the moment, even myself. And what are we talking about? Okay, what should we talk about? These thoughts that are flying around, which one should we grab? You know? So in my mind, it's like I'm not intentionally saying anything that will result in an end goal of ruining everything we're working for.
Right.
That just doesn't compute in my mind. Like Shane Gillis, he got canceled from being on Saturday Night Live, and he's still touring right now. He's got a special out. There's no real you can't cancel Cat Williams. They can say that he does drugs. They can say that he got arrested for this. They can say that this person did this when it's not true or whatever, and then he has to go fight it. By the time you fight it for 8 months, how many people are on that train now? But who gives a shit about the people who are sheep like that anyway? Who are just so quickly judgmental on someone or whatever, and are gonna let the media narrative declare what they think and especially nowadays. 10 years ago, fine. They're not as obvious. Fine. But now, after the election, after the COVID thing, after all that, the Pfizer, the vaccines, all that stuff that's happened up until now, how can you sit there and watch the news or watch follow the mainstream tweet and take it for everything and not analyze the information? And
right.
You just take it for what they say and just run with it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Asian people are no longer a race. And then you're like, yeah. You know, there's people going to be like that. And there's people going to be like, what are you talking about? And there's people going to be like, I wasn't even thinking about race until you brought it up. And that's how most people are. Like, if I'm walking around and I'm walking around the town, I'm not like black, Asian, white, blah, blah, blah. I'm like human, alien. What the hell is that? Doom, doom, doom. What color are you? Yellow, boom, boom. What am I energy? Love, peace, anger, boom, ding, ding, ding. That's what I'm looking at, you know? But then we're in a room and someone says, look, there's 3 Asian people in here. I know what look, there's 3 Asian people here. I know what those words mean. I know what he's talking about when he puts them all together. I'm a listener. I listen. So subconsciously, I have to process his information. And even for a split second, I think about it. Now, this person has made me think about race. I'm not thinking about it at all. And you guys might not think about it until I brought it up just now. And it's like, that's how it keeps going. When they put "and racism" on the court, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why is that on there? Black Lives Matter right on the court. There's a fucking Asian dude. There's all these different people playing. What about them? What about the people? Everyone mad? Of course they do. And yeah, at the time, I understand. Some have been, especially in this country, different, depending on what you look, you might face a different set of circumstances or the way people treat you. 100%. However, 10 years ago when I'm watching the NBA, I'm not thinking about, I'm thinking about who's the best basketball player. That's what the NBA is for.
Right.
And when you leave when you walk and you're out in town, you're in public and you speak about it, that's when you can speak about your thoughts. But at the game, it's the game. We're here for the game. We're all here to enjoy the game together. I love the guy on the court. I want him to be the best. I hope he hits the game-winning shot. But then I look down and it's like, Black Lives Matter. I'm like, yes, they do. But who said they didn't? Who? The people that want to push this thing. They're saying that they're doing both. They're saying that it matters and it doesn't matter. And then, of course, when you're on your phone, you wake up, first 10 seconds you wake up, you hit Instagram, and it's like, hits you with that. Subconsciously, you're like...
Getting poisoned.
Yes. Every day. And it's like, bro, like a kid, like when Amber walks around, bro, she's not thinking about that at all. But I know in a few short years, she just came back asking about what no cap means. So soon, those questions aren't going to be as funny as no cap. They ain't going to be funny questions. When she said the no cap shit, I laughed my ass off when Jason told me about that. I was like, that's hilarious. The story was like, she's at school, and the kids were saying no cap, and she was like, but I don't have a hat on. And that was hilarious. So then you have to explain it. But soon, there's going to be those questions that aren't funny. It's not funny. Why are you saying that? Oh, because little Johnny said this. Little Johnny said I'm black. What? And now little Johnny said this isn't real. I'm not going to say what this is, but if you connect the dots.
Right.
Where you've been the past month, So, and then you got to be like, well, fuck little Johnny. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But then these things, and then when they go to school, and then they're going to learn more about whatever history they're teaching now, whatever those things, they're going to this is going to be slowly programmed into their brain. But that kid right now, that kid we spent all day with, is not looking at us any different. Besides, that's his dad, and we're his uncles. That's the only difference he's looking at. He's not looking at us any different than that. That this is my dad, and the energy with my dad is different than the energy with my uncles. And the energy with my mom is different. And my cousin, those. Right. So my other uncle, actually, his brother. So it's like, it makes me extremely upset and sad to even think about that. I'm gonna have to do like that soon, But it's like, that's why I know it's like it's not in the average person. It's not in their brain until it's put in their brain. The average person isn't waking up thinking about Gatorade. But when you walk into the store and you see the Gatorade ad, you might fucking get a Gatorade now. And then someone says Gatorade sucks, and you're like, no, it doesn't. Fuck you. And then they clip you, and then now you're in a fight over Gatorade. And you're like, bro, I didn't even want this to begin with. Like, I'd rather just drink water. The elixir of life. So it's like, that's why I'm not scared. I'm not scared to say something. I'm not scared, because at the end of the day, the point of this is to replicate what we're doing out there. Now, there is some things that we shouldn't say, whether it pertains to our future, ideas, the way the world is. You don't want an idea stolen before you have a chance to do it. Things like that. But I'm going to speak pretty much. I'm not pretending. At the end, that's how we started this. I'm not pretending anymore. At all. Like, I can't. I'm tired of it. And even to the symbol of, like, because it dealt with the family. And I was like, at that point, bro, who else am I? You know what I mean? you're not gonna pretend with your family, bro, like what else? Like who are you gonna pretend with, bro? You know. So it's like I'm not doing it. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna say how I feel because at the end of the day, this is what's gonna get me to where I want to be and where I need to go. Someone where at the end of the day, when they look back, they say that dude was here for us, was here for the people, was here for the universe, life, love, and not question if he's on the list. No questions asked. Obviously, the list is past my time. There's gonna be something else,
Right.
and you ain't gonna be able to clip me and say that I'm part of it. They ain't gonna be able to do that. That's why they can't do that to Cat Williams. Because what does he do? He fucking shows up to Shannon Sharp and let all hell breaks loose.
So I have to watch that
And he's
podcast.
got, dude, 2 days after it dropped, 19 million. 31 after today, 4 days. I went back, I refreshed that one ticket in it, and when I looked at it the first time, then looking at it, 31. 31 million people have listened to Cat Williams say something, whether they liked it or not. 31 million. 31 views total we might get on this for a while. You know what I'm saying? So for now, we're in a different league. But eventually, the people who know Cat Williams, who've wanted to see his stand-up, who've watched his career, they're going to know what he's about. Dave Chappelle, same thing.
Yeah.
You know? But other people, like, there's going to, like, would you, like, basically, like, there's some people, would you put, like, your life on the line, just like the tooth thing? Yes, no. One tooth chomps you, one tooth doesn't. Two celebrities. There's going to be some that you're not going to pick that tooth. I don't know about that one. And there's some you're going to put your life on and bet, like, he's a good person. And nowadays, it's hard to decipher because of how spread the people who, they'll put so many people out in front of your face. Where it's not like Martin Luther King. Like this big predominant guy. Like who in the world right now would you say is a predominant speaker like Bob Marley at that point? Bob Marley was at one point the forefront for humanity. You know? MLK, forefront for humanity, not just African Americans, you know? Different things. Who would you say now? You know? Trump maybe, but not in that sense. But if you look at it, if Trump was telling the truth that the shit was rigged or whatever, if you really look at it, taxes were lower, you know, so many things. Maybe he didn't do the right. He couldn't. He had to play a certain way to get there, you know.
Right.
But I don't know him, so I can't really speak on him back and forth. But between him and Biden, who am I putting my money on to help save humanity? No brainer, in my mind, you know. But I'm not gonna. But also, who is he really? What is he about? You know, there's no proof
No
that
guarantee.
you know there should be more than just 2 people. It should be 5 people, and everyone goes and votes. 10% of people voted for him. 30% of people voted for him. 20% voted for him. You know, instead of 2 people. Like what race comes down to 2 people? We just talked about human races. NASCAR, Olympic race, horse race. The only time it's a race you can do is I say, let's race right now, me and you.
Right.
Every other, when you use the word race, there's more than 2 entities.
Other countries have multiple party races also.
So, except for one of, you could argue the most important one in the world. Because if you say America's most free or whatever, then technically America is most progressive in time. So, America should be the forefront of what should life be. That's what people think, right? America's the best.
Right.
Everyone should be like us. So, it's like, by the end of the day, having 2 parties that are both on the same team, you know, and then you just divide the country in half, like, that's not feasible, you know. That's not actually for human growth or whatever, but it is feasible to keep business going. Controversy.
A house divided cannot stand.
Yeah, there you go. You know, so just overall, I just feel like there isn't too many people that are in that fame light that you can fully trust and rely on. That they are trying and doing anything they can possible to help what's going on, you know? And then there's a lot that's going to be in between where you think they are, you know, but they're really not, you know? And there's so many, so it's like, if I do get blessed enough, or when I do, to be in the spotlight of people, like, I'm not gonna let that. I'm not gonna miss that chance. I'm not gonna fuck that chance up. I'm not gonna taint my. There's no question. But that's why it's not here yet. The balance of what's the rush? Why wait? Why wait to be as real as I can, to be who I am? But what's the rush of getting to the point where there's a million people watching me? Because now life's way different. Can't just go to the Mexican place and have a dude sigh at you. He's going to be like, what else would you want? You know what I mean? Always, especially to know who you are. How much you, oh yeah, they might leave me, Like if I saw like an artist walk into the spot and I knew who they were, I would attend to them. What?
I mean, yeah.
Because even the slightest, what might be minute to them might be big for you. So it's like, of course you would. I might I might pretend in that moment. Not pretend or whatever, but push myself a little, get myself out of what I'm doing.
Go into the showmanship.
Yeah, just a little more, just to be like, whatever. But, yeah, what's the rush? Why wait?
Well, like, if Mr. Beast walks in to the spot, you're definitely giving him the best
You're going
service
to chat him
that you
up.
can.
Yeah, chat him up. Selfishly, maybe to get some extra tip. Or to whatever. Unselfishly, to just connect, to just learn from this human being who is successful in a certain way. There's so many different things from that. But we're not going to get, we're not going to get what we get to do now. And I know that. So it's like, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy going to Walmart and just being able to walk around. So it's like, that's why I have like a balance. The only thing I'm thinking is like, I want to have my album out for my birthday. So that's the only rush I feel, is making sure I don't get to where I'm rushing it. You know what I'm saying? But doing that. Other than that, like, everything's working out exactly how it should.
Facts.
Did y'all ever see the thing about how Michael Jackson's manager, I think it was like for his birthday or for a gift or something like that, but they basically rented out an entire grocery store and filled it with like people that go on tour with him and his family and his friends, just so he could have a normal shopping experience, so he could experience what it was like going into a grocery store, buying his own groceries, checking out.
That's crazy.
That's pretty nice.
Because he can't,
And now, obviously,
couldn't
that's another level of
technically
stardom or like fame, where everybody knows you. Not like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's like famous enough where a lot of people know him,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people will have no idea who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great spot to be in. And the people who don't know who you are don't need to, or they're not ready. And the people who do know who you are, they found you at the right time. You know what I mean? So the people who don't know who you are, and people who are like, Joe Rogan's taking whatever during the like he's anti-vaxxer, all those people.
Right.
All it did was push the people who liked him to like him more. He's right. You don't need the vaccine. There's other methods. They don't want you to know about that. Why? Because Pfizer made it. Oh, they need money. Okay, better make. It makes sense. So it's like, okay, now all the people who are on the fence about Joe Rogan just got pushed to the side. Like, psh, I know it's over there. I'm going over there. Over here seems not good, especially at that time. This doesn't seem great. But over here, this seems good. So all the people on the fence got pushed over. That's the balance. You lose people and you win. You take L's, but you also gain. If I lose Kevin Hart, but I gain Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, and Joe Rogan, sorry, bro. Jumanji 2's ass.
Worry about the three tables.
And that's one thing Cat Williams was talking about, was how Kevin Hart never had like a sold out like special or show or whatever, and then he was just all of a sudden like with the movie deals there. And meanwhile, Cat Williams does all this other, how do you not? And then there was a point where Kevin Hart was basically saying on The Breakfast Club how Cat Williams was like on drugs, and the reason why is because he didn't take the opportunities that were given to him or whatever. He was like, the promotional tours that they give you, he didn't do those or whatever. It was very like saying Cat, and so it's like don't ignite the beast, So I don't feel bad, but in that sense where it's like, I'm not gonna put my faith that Kevin Hart is the savior, is like trying to help the world.
Right.
Feels like Kevin Hart's trying to help Kevin Hart. Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, when you hear them jokes, it's not you can't take that lightly.
Yeah.
You can't just call out like the people that I'm not gonna say because I don't. We're too already speaking to, but the people that he called out and said and like linking someone to the Epstein list, and doing like that is major. Like, and then if you have how many people listen to you, how many people, whatever.
Yeah, millions.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that is major news to especially who might have not been linked yet or whatever. Dropping a new link, like Aaron Rodgers linked fucking Jimmy Kimmel on ESPN on Pat McAfee show. He was like, Jimmy Kimmel won't like if the list came out, basically.
Dang.
And it was whatever. It's like Aaron Rodgers is out. Aaron Rodgers didn't take the vaccine. Aaron Rodgers got ridiculed. Aaron Rodgers was back-to-back MVPs at 37, 36, 37, 38. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, and he didn't do the classic. He tried something new. Aaron Rodgers is speaking out. Aaron Rodgers is telling you to take CBD gummies because it actually helps you heal. And that's how instead of the prescription drugs, Aaron Rodgers is doing this. Aaron Rodgers was always in the NFC Championship, and who won those other Super Bowls? Probably Tom Brady. But this dude is someone who's in sports, and he's speaking out. And the best part about it was he did it at a time where when the vaccine was going around. If you're on the practice squad, how can you say no? How? You can't be in the league then, sir. Aaron Rodgers says no. He's back-to-back MVP. What do we say to him?
Right.
Not just gonna cut him off. He's a moneymaker first. So it's like, but he stood up, and Kyrie Irving's been once a year. Something happens. This is the only year so far Kyrie hasn't been blasted yet.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Like I haven't seen anything negative on Kyrie all year. Last year Kyrie. For what? The one thing all he did was retweet a thing that someone else tweeted about a video that you could buy on Amazon, a movie, and it had like anti-Semitic shit or whatever. And people were like ridiculing for retweeting a movie, and he was just showing you that this movie you can buy on Amazon. He was basically like showing like, look at this shit, like look how fucked up this is. He didn't say no comment. He just retweeted to show people, like look at this, bro. You can buy this on Amazon. And him just showing people, then he got rid of as he's this, he's that. Are you going to apologize? For what? All I did was show you something. I didn't even say if it was good or bad. You don't know my opinion. All I did was give you the information. And then the media is going to do whatever. The algorithm, they can always send bots out. They can make 30 fake accounts that.
Yeah, and that's always the craziest part. Because they're never going to come to Amazon. Are you going to apologize? Are you going to take it down? Mm-hmm. Everybody's too afraid.
They want... Because then on the other side, all the people who watch it were like, oh, dude, yes. They're going to go buy it on Amazon. Win-win. You create a false narrative and you also make money.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. So that's why I respect those people, because those people are paving ways to, like, they're in a position where they can just conform and play basketball and make a bunch of money and blah, blah, blah. Or play football. But they don't. And the comedy and comedy is one of the most dangerous things in music. I think notoriously music's probably more dangerous of a profession to be in than comedy, just because of the way music affects people, in the sense that you can play music almost all day. In comedy, you can listen to comedy all day in a sense, but it's different when you're there.
Right.
Like you can listen to like Tame Impala, or I can't remember what's like Dark Side of the Moon. What's the Pink Floyd? Yeah. You can listen to that and have a just insane experience. And then, of course, it's not the same now, but you drop back 20 years ago or whatever, and you go see Pink Floyd concert, it's going to be completely different. It's not going to be completely different. It's going to be a way different vibe.
Yeah.
But you can take that and have it. You can meditate with it. There's so many things. Comedy, it's like, if you heard the joke, it's not as funny the second time. Maybe the second time it's just as funny, but after that, it's not as funny because you know what's coming. But the music... It's like every time you hear it, there's another layer, there's another sound, there's another this, another that, another meaning you didn't interpret. You thought when he said that red is blue, you thought something different. And then he was like, wait, and you thought of something else. So that's why I think it's a little more dangerous. And then in the history, if you look at the people who've died, there's been some great comics who've died recently and in the past or whatever. But then you look at, you got like Kurt Cobain, weird death, Bob Marley, Mac Miller, and even recently Juice World, like, and maybe they weren't as conscious, whatever those people are like Juice or whatever, but he was influencing the youth, you know. Capital Steez was one. There's so many.
I want to say I feel like comedy kind of has like that barrier a little bit because like if you go to
you
a
could say
comedy
it's
show,
like a joke,
yeah,
in a way too, right? That's
like
the premise.
You go to
It's
the
got a
comedy
safety
show,
net.
you're there
Yeah.
to get jokes.
Yeah,
to
because
laugh.
you can say something and be like, I don't mean it.
Yeah, you're
Just
there
saying
for
it.
controversy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole skit.
Or so you can pluck those strings.
Yeah.
If you pluck them correctly, you not only hit perfectly with the laugh, you also hit perfectly with the message.
Yeah.
And that's why jokes are so, like, if you have Kevin said, if you have like, the best jokes are never done. Because you always tweak them. You always add an extra second before you say it. Or you say it just a little louder. Or a little different. You know, just depending on where you are, you might add the little, like, you know. Versus, like, you know, a different, not aneurysm. I was about to say. What's the word?
Onomatopoeia?
No, not.
Voice impression.
No, like
Inflection?
not impression, but
Inflection?
it's like things that work, like people do naturally.
Tics.
Starts with the A. It's not. What did I say? I don't know. Someone will say it.
Habits.
No. Just like, I guess, like habits. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's like the
1,
little,
2,
like,
3, 4. Make a wish.
I wish.
I wish Ryan could think of the word.
I wish for a great process. Or I wish for an honest and complete and successful process of finishing the album. That's my wish.
Respect.
For my birthday. Yeah. But I don't remember what we were talking about. I've been bad at keeping trains.
We were saying comedy has like a safety.
Oh,
net.
yeah. It does. Where you have that, where you can be like, oh, I'm joking. You're like, yeah. It's like, you know that it's not, like, the premise is that it's not real, almost. You know? But then you say real stuff. Like, the best ones say real stuff.
Yeah.
And make you laugh.
That's
and
why
so,
I like Dave Chappelle so much.
Yeah.
Just like he'll like tell you this deep story about his life, and like he won't put any jokes in it for like a solid 4 or 5 minutes, and you're like just enthralled in the story, and all of a sudden he'll just shoot one in there at the last second.
And then you go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
You gear him up, and then you go ding. That's like a 3. It's one of those, like Cat was talking about, like a 3-minute joke. You set it up for 3 minutes, and you just annihilate them. Bang, 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 bang. And then once you got them there, just keep ringing them off, right? That was funny when Dave Chappelle earlier, he was talking about, like, he's like, I'm not going to talk about them, like the trans people, and then he just rips a joke after that, right? It's like, you know, he said exactly, but that's the thing, like, that's why I feel like music is probably a little more dangerous than comedy, in the sense of that safety net, that little thing.
I think
how much you can really get, like,
that's
because the podcast is different. Cat Williams special versus for an hour versus you listening to him for 2 hours and 45 minutes unscripted. That's different.
Right.
That's a whole nother thing. A platform for you just to speak. Doing your comedy, you know, doing a movie, you know, you're going to put your flair on the role. If you write the words, or if you write the script or the act, you're going to flare it up how you want. And if you're doing it for the love and for the universe or whatever, you're going to put those messages in there too. Just like Surf's Up and Meet the Robinsons. Like, Surf's Up's about penguins surfing, but under the core it's about like chasing your dreams.
Speaking of kids movies, you know.
And then also, just to finish the thought,
it's
also in the sense of when you become, for the people who become famous, it's almost like for people who become famous and people who do look up to them, going through the trials and tribulations of having people look up to you and disappointing them, but then like change, you know what I mean? So that there's and then coming back around from it. So there's so many different little aspects. Then you have Reggie Belafonte, who's like trying to destroy the production. Like, I brought Big Z back from the dead, you know, just like trying to like make it's all him. Like he's doing this so criminal. And that behind the scenes, like he's not doing anything. He's like just sitting there getting pampered. Mikey, the little bird, does everything for him, all the logistics.
So I haven't seen that movie.
Surf's Up?
No, you're lying.
You've seen it.
We literally watched it like 15 times between here and there.
But once you watch it,
between here and our house.
Yeah, once you watch it
was on the
again,
TV
once you
15
watch it
times.
again, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you know what I'm talking about. Like
I knew
Mikey.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's like that movie. There's so many little messages in there.
Oh yeah.
On top of the fact that it's just a movie about penguin surfing, you know. So that when you put those roles in there, like those people are always gonna shine, and that's really important for those people to do that. But when you watch them, people have the predetermined thought like a movie. Like people don't go to Star Wars as history. People go look at Star Wars as entertainment, as whatever. And I think I had that perspective a while ago where I was like, people are watching this stuff as entertainment, but they don't understand the concept that they're like how much knowledge is actually in here. It's not just like fictional stories. Like as much as Harry Potter is Harry Potter, and she says that she wrote it in her dream or whatever, and blah blah blah. In my mind, it could very well have just been history. In 1906 or whatever, very well there could be wizards flying around. You can't see them because they hide well. They can erase your memory if you need to.
Men in Black hit you with the
Men in Black. They showed you that. You know what I mean? So there's so many things where it's like, in my mind, J.K. Rowling could be Hermione. You know. She's just showing you the perspective through the whole Harry Potter series. Could be Hermione's perspective of Harry, and this actually happened. Harry saved the world. Voldemort was here, you know. That is just as much possible as it not being real at all. That's how I feel. And it's like, yes, it could be a story, or the names were different or whatever, but this possibility of this realm of something being possible is real. Star Wars could be real, you know. Maybe not exactly. It could be dramatized. You know, but still, it's like the best stories are true ones. You know, the ones that wrench you the most, those movies that say based on a true story, and at the end you're like, holy shit, those get you the most. Versus like White House Down, you know, in London, whatever they did the second one, where it was Olympus has fallen, like Olympus has fallen, like that doesn't like.
That's the second movie to White House Down. Olympus is
It might be, or might not be, but they're a similar type of movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't captivate you. Hopefully, like this Bob Marley one. You know what I mean? It's like based off of or like Act of Valor or whatever, or America's. I mean, those are probably still dramatized, but those war movies like what's name one like what's the one on the
Saving
beach?
Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. What's the one on the beach? Like Battle of Normandy or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about
Independence Day?
No,
No.
isn't it Normandy? Or
No, that's the one for World War II. You're right about that. I'm not sure if that's what the movie's called.
the beach? I don't know if that's the beach, but you know that,
That is
they had to hold the
There's
beach.
also
Normandy, yeah. Normandy.
I feel like a great example you're talking about is Hacksaw Ridge, the conscientious objector.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's one that like got everybody. Everybody was crying in that movie.
You know, and then you have movies like The Hunger Games, where it's an idea of what society could be like or whatever, but still inside these ideas are what's happening now.
Yeah, there's like still fundamental truths.
You know, and that's why. And Black Mirror is one of those shows that are just crazy because of like it shows you like the realm of possibility of like
What?
how little it could change to be like this.
There was a movie. I'm trying to remember. It was either a movie or show. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I remember like the guy was up and he was trying to prevent something from being signed, and he was like, "Well, if you had," it was that really stupid movie that I watched. Where, and I was so upset I watched it, but like this one part was
Made it
pretty
somewhat
good.
worth
Yeah, but it was where like they basically it's this prince who's in charge of everything, and they're trying to get like democracy in their country, but it's been a monarchy for years, and or like a dictatorship, something like that. And they basically like send him to America and replace him with a dummy, And like I know there are a couple different movies that have this premise, but it's one of the ones that aren't super well known. I think it might have been like an Amazon or a Netflix original,
yeah.
one of those. But he like he takes a spot back last second, grabs the piece of paper, and he's going on this rant. He was like, America should be a monarchy. You could take all of the wealth and give it to a select group of people and then share the rest with everybody else. You could, and he just starts like the whole bit was he was going on this list of like, imagine if you weren't a democracy. This is what you could do. And he was describing America. And I was just like, that. I remembered watching it and thinking to myself, this is not a big enough movie for that joke. Like whatever it was, whoever had made it, like I knew it was, I understood why it stuck, but that was not a big enough movie.
There was one of those kid
for how
shows.
deep that joke at non-face value, like wow.
There was one of those kid shows that came out in like the 2015, so like right after, like it's the same vibe as like Wizards of Waverly Place, and like that type of show, but it's one of the older, like the newer ones, so it's not as like whatever. But like it didn't make it out like the first season because one of the episodes they do like, I seen on Instagram where the girl like says like they say something and she goes, well that's like, and it like goes into the thought bubble and it goes into like an animated like drawing of like American society of like why when kids are born, why they're given like a social security and the tax and what is the purpose of it and how countries make money off the people they have and all the different things, and it like basically exposes you've probably seen it. It exposes so much stuff just in the
I didn't know that was from a show though. I just saw that clip.
If you're 15, bro,
Dude, I've never heard of this before.
If you're 15 and you're sitting there,
you're woke.
And maybe or maybe not, you might have smoked. If you're younger than I was, you hit the whatever. If you're where I wasn't smoking yet, but you might even so. Even if you just don't even understand what they're saying, and you hear that one time, the government does this, and that. Why? Because this, and that, and you just go on with your day. Now you've collected this information that is thinking information. It's like just like the food, like when you eat chips, what your body does when you eat chips, what your body does when you eat like fruit and like meat, like chicken or like steak. You know what I mean? There's different processes that happen.
Yeah.
So when you digest the chips, you know, you're gonna digest it, and it's not, and whatever. When you digest that steak, your body for 3 days is digesting that steak. So now for days you're digesting that information versus that quick little thing like Joe Flacco threw 115 yards today. 2 days from now, how many yards did Joe Flacco throw?
Like 300.
You know,
right?
You don't remember like unless it was a big time where it was like 464. But like on a normal day, like the only reason why I know C.J. Stroud threw 264 is because he needed 266. You know, but on a normal day, I can't tell you 2 weeks ago what C.J. Stroud got.
Right.
You know, but I'm sure I looked at it when I was looking that day for the bet how much he got. I'm sure I saw the number. But then if someone said anything from earlier conversation, we could bring up any conversation from earlier. I can recall it and whatever. You know, that is information that sticks with you farther. So something like that real information, that you digest that. You know, so as a kid, how often are you really hearing that information? Mm-hmm. Especially how much are you hearing bullshit? And when you hear bullshit enough, you know when you don't hear bullshit. You know, when the baby goes, then he goes, ah, and not in progressive, but different moments.
Right.
One moment, 2 moments later, a day later, and then a week later, ah! You're like, what's wrong?
Right.
Because all those other times you're like, you're good. Shake the leg off. Oh, his leg snap. Oh my God. You know what I mean? That you're gonna see that. You know that's not bullshit. I know you're actually hurt. I know you're crying. Versus like, get up. You know. So when you hear that event, when you know a liar, you know this person's lying to me. They finally tell you the truth, or close enough where you're like, is he? You know. But so eventually, like, especially when you're younger, like we're susceptible to things like that we won't even understand until later on. Like when your dad or lack of dad, you know, when you are a dad, and what are you gonna put on your, you know what I mean? when you're not a dad, but you have a kid looking up to you. You know, so many different things that I'll be able to tell my son something that my dad's not going to tell me. And my dad was able to tell me something that his dad wasn't able to tell him. You know what I mean? Things like that. You know? So, well, yeah. Did you remember? You don't remember?
My story now. I didn't go back and look.
So the premise was, what's your favorite number? Calvin said.
I either said 330 or 7. I don't remember which one I chose.
7.
I think it might have been 7. No, I don't think I would have said 7. I think I said 3.
Can't remember. But then Eddie said, I like 17. 17's a great number, a nice number. And then you said, I actually have a story about 17, but I'll wait for the podcast.
I don't remember what the story was, but I'll talk about when I was 17. I felt like 17 was such a bittersweet
So why is
age.
17 your favorite number?
I think I was just feeling 17 that moment in time.
What's your favorite number? 17. Next day, what's your favorite number? 19. How come? I don't know. Just like 19 today.
No one said your favorite had to be consistent.
That is
it's just
true.
Your favorite. It's the one you
That
were
is true.
feeling.
They're
the
gonna
most.
tell you that your favorite's 5, and you're gonna live your whole life thinking that your favorite's 5, but really it was 4, 3, 2. But you just believed what you heard.
How many times have I changed my favorite color in my life? Probably like 6
Yeah,
times.
I've been between blue and purple for the longest time, and then indigo just kind of. But you know, sometimes that silver looks pretty nice, or you know, you get a nice red, red, pink,
That's
orange.
yeah.
You're like, ooh,
Like
that sunset color looks nice, boy.
Right.
I used to fly between I've always loved the color black for like everything. You know what I mean? It's just it's a
Society
nice color.
told you that you like no,
Yeah, right.
Jokes.
It's a nice color, a lot of absorption. You know, like, but red and blue when I was a kid, like, and I remember every year I'd go back and forth.
You couldn't
and
choose
then
which game you want to be.
Probably around like
Tupac or
6th, 7th grade, like just green, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think I started getting a lot of green things, and I just loved the fact that they were green. And I remember one day being like,
I like green.
nah,
I like
green's
green.
the shit. Like, green's just the shit.
Well, blue and purple have been predominant
Respect
colors that I like.
I think I was orange for a really long time.
Jason's been orange for a while.
And then it was green for a bit. And then it was
Well, green's like
purple.
love. You know, that's a good color.
And now I'm just feeling the yellow.
Hell yeah. That's good.
Can respect it.
What'd you say? You said blue and red or green now?
It's green. It's been green for years.
Blue and red.
Like-
Decided to avoid the gang life.
Nah. It's not but not gonna.
Like, you can actually be canceled for that.
Yeah, talk about
I'm
that.
nowhere
with
near
Mikey
part of
Murphy.
it, so there's no way. Yeah, all I see is from the outside.
However,
perspective.
Cancel from life.
cancel from life. But yeah,
Well, I'll just come back.
green's just growth.
Try again, sir. Before it's too late. Hopefully not. Hopefully this will be the one. Ride off into the sunset.
But yeah, 17
Bro,
is a bittersweet age.
There's
for
been
me,
a
I
lot,
feel
dude.
like.
I don't know, man. Dude, Honda just did a commercial where it was like how they're by 2050 they want to have like green.
Zero emissions or
Yeah,
neutral
and
emissions.
it's like they have like they showed all these little innovative things, and at the end it's like space, and they're like, wherever we're going, we'll be with whatever they say, some dumb shit, and you're like, there's a lot of Wally vibes coming around here. There's a lot of with that crypto commercial with remember that when it was Crypto.com with Matt Damon, and he's walking around, he's like, beyond the stars, you know, like you're about to walk on Mission Space in Disney. You know, well, there's a lot of that, dude. They dropped the aliens recently. Every time a new Epstein document releases, there's a new alien or something goes on instead that people focus on. Alien in Miami. What? Like,
I will say,
there's
this,
aliens everywhere.
like if the top elite or were to just board that spaceship and dip, for whatever reason, I don't think I'd want to.
I had a sad thought. I was like, bro, what if I don't actually get to complete this album? Not because of whatever, just because of the universe, just because of whatever. And I was like, well, at least the universe gave me something to enjoy my time with, even if no one else got to hear it. At least I got to hear it for the last little bits of time. You know.
Sure.
I feel like it'll come out. I feel like we have at least 23 years, I'd say, at least, before it's like what I would say clock strikes midnight on the thing. But someone said that we were talking about. I think we were talking like
You don't
there,
think
there
we're
should
gonna
be
make it 2050?
No,
Say 2024 or 2044, 2045. Is that what your cutoff
farther than
is?
that.
Think we'll make
No,
it
because you
think we'll
said
make it further than
23
that?
years, so that'd be 47.
Yeah, 47.
There you
Okay.
go.
But
Because we just hit
what was I about to
24.
say? Yeah, I would. I'm not sure, man. If they're not gonna tell you. They'll just whoever has. You'll know if you know. It'll be like 2012, the movie, where they have those like arcs, but instead of being submarine arc things that just take the tsunamis, like they're obviously it's gonna be like wow, they really fly away. You know, but that premise of 2012 was real. You know, like the idea of it. But then, which is funny because you have like Woody Harrelson like yelling from the top of the mountains, the crazy guy. But what was I gonna say? 2012. Oh, apparently like there's 13 months, not 12, and they cut a month off.
Yeah, we talked about this.
So in that sense, like it's actually only like 20. Like this, someone was saying like it's actually only. I can't remember what year they said, like 2011 or something, 2012, and they're like, so the mind counter is 20.
yeah.
So it's like technically that's why I was like, is my album gonna come out? The mind said 2012, and it was.
So it's 2012 this year. Is what you're saying?
No, I don't know.
Based off
I
that
don't
information.
know exactly what year they based off whatever math calculation that is. I don't have that I can't remember what it said and what it was or whatever. But is it possible that they shaved time? Yeah. I was born in 1996, so as long as from 1995 on they said there's 12 months, I would always believe there's 12 months. Naturally. Because when you're first, like, you think that what people are telling you is true. You know, now as
like
27-year-old, I will say that there's generally possible that they would take a month away for whatever reason it might be. Why? All the difference is that instead of December, then it's Delember. You know what I mean? The next Tember or whatever, and then all that changes is just when it gets cold and when it gets hot, and how long. Summer now it's hot. It's only super hot for a smaller time of summer, and then it's whatever. You know what I mean?
So like my only thing against that would be like, how else would you explain the weather? So like, we'll use winter. Like that's a great way where you said like it is hot, it gets cold, right? We'll use winter as an example. We're in winter right now. We know that it's going to be 365 days until the next point
but
in
all
this
it is
time
is
of winter when it's cold again, right?
But all you're doing is adding 30 more
But it's
days.
not,
It's just
though.
like sometimes in April it gets hot already.
That's
Sometimes
true.
it's still cold.
That's what I was gonna say, but
So
it's not.
just
Though.
it's not like
Cause,
it's not like on May 1st that now the temperature will never drop below this.
Right.
It's just whatever temperature it is at that time that when you look at your iPhone now and it says it's May 1st.
Well, I feel like that doesn't always have to do with the time of year though. It has like other effects on it too. Like
Well, all I'm saying is if you add another month, all it would be was just your perception of the seasons would be different. You would just view. It would just be. It's not like you're adding a whole nother six. It's like one. So you're just all it is you're just extend. If you think about it, 30 days between 13, that's like adding 3 days a month.
so like
Now February has 30 days. You know, what if they all had 31 days? You know what I mean? Things like that. That's basically all it is. Basically, just elongating the time.
our
Instead of shortening
measurement of time.
Yeah. So after 2 years of us living with 13 months, you wouldn't view like it's not winter summer. You know what I mean? It's still winter.
Because the
Your
sun.
just view of it, like it would just be basically all. Well, I see what you're saying. What they tell you our rotation of the sun is.
yeah, but like
They
you
tell you it's
rotate.
12,
Yeah.
but it could be 13.
Yeah.
So now all it's doing is changing how you perceive the world, how you perceive time, because they're telling you that each minute or each rotation is 12, but it's actually 13. So now your math is wrong. Your
But
you know what I'm saying?
if it is actually 12, right? Assuming that it's 12, but we change it to 13, right? Just for the reason off of what you say, what you were saying, right? Let's say we pick a month, March. So March in 6 years, right? So March is gonna go to April next year.
Mm-hmm.
March is gonna go to June or May the year following. Then June, July,
Yeah, exactly.
August, September, right? Or October later on. So March is gonna eventually become October, 6 years, 7 years down the road.
Yeah.
And so like now that we know March is spring, it's now gonna be what would be considered fall, right?
See, but I brought this up on.
It's gonna be different weathers for each month than what we're used to if we do.
No, because it's the
13.
same
Yeah.
every time. It's
'Cause
just it's like a wheel. All you're doing is adding another section to the wheel. So now February, whatever you feel happens in February is now elongated. Like there's a little bit extra February. There's a little extra March. And basically the simple fact of if you take
So
away
you're adding days to the months rather than adding a.
if you take a month away right now, if you take 12 months, you go to 11, you turn 21, 22 faster. You turn 23 faster. You turn 30 fast. You think you're older faster. But every 12 years, you actually lost a year because of your perception of time. You think you're 21 when you're actually 20. You know what I'm saying? And now you're speeding your life up. Subconsciously, you think you're older than you are. What does that do? Your mind is powerful. You think you're old, you're going to feel old. You feel young, you think you're young, you're going to be young. You know? And it's like, so all we'll do is just change. So them taking, if it was 13, they took one away. Now it's just speeding things up. Taxes come faster. You have less time to make them up. There's so, you know what I'm saying? They basically, they make it so that the game goes faster. They took away 10 minutes off the clock. So now you don't get a fifth quarter. You know what I'm saying? There's only 4. But who knows if there's 5 there's only 4 UFC rounds for the championship. But that 5th round is crucial, maybe. Leon Edwards was losing 4.5 rounds, and he head kicked Usman in the last 30 seconds, and knocked him out in 1. And Usman's winning the whole fight. 20 seconds later, Usman wins. But he gets knocked out. You need that 5th round. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not that we need it or no, but it's just that fact of by doing it now things go by faster, you know, stuff like that. It's not as elongated. Would they do it? Why? I don't know why. You know, what's so, like, maybe I just thought of that now, just like speeding up your time subconsciously. But I don't know what's the, why is it, why would they do that? I don't know. You know, just what it said. And then there's the other, like, no 13th floor in buildings, you know. There's like a lot of weird things. Friday the 13th. Right. There's a lot of that. So just if you're jumping into that 13 realm. Of
so where does that lore come from? Like that 13 lore?
Well,
like
13 colonies.
But like, is that really where it
so
originates
what?
from?
Okay, I'll say what the fucking shit said. Basically, there was basically it's the thought of like 13 entities, like aliens or whatever, reptilian, whatever you want to call them, that came to Earth and populated and basically took over the Earth, populated the Earth.
Right.
And it's 13 of them. 13 different families or whatever, you know? And they've controlled the Earth the entire time they've been here. So, if that's whatever, and then what's the best thing to do is remove any thought about it, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I don't know all the webs of the 13. I don't know the webs.
Right.
But the premise was that basically these entities, and they're not obviously positive entities. They seem like more evil entities the way Earth is. Like, Earth isn't a place where you wake up and it's like, la, na, 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 like the early, like, fairy tale.
Right.
That bring in, and then what happens? Something fucked up happens in the in the fairy tale. And then something resolves it. That's the fairy tale.
Right.
But it doesn't just stick in that 30 seconds, where it's the birds chirping, the butterflies going, people dancing around, right? It could be like that. Like when you
see glimpses.
When you wake up, when you come out the womb, you don't become a number to the tax system, to whatever. You become a human that, here, eat this apple, have some water, what are you here for? Why did God send you? Or whoever you want to say is the creator or whatever. Why'd you come? Those things. Like, it could be like that where you wake up and it's like, life. But instead it's like you wake up and it's like, shit, wait 10 minutes late for work. You know? And it's like, and you had to, I literally had to go to work last Wednesday to eat. You know? That's crazy. You know? Versus like, I couldn't just go to the local place and get some water. Let me just get some water. Let me get an apple. Why isn't this whole neighborhood full of apple trees? Or whatever. You know? So it's like, but instead it's like it is. So I don't know. I don't want to. I have to do more research on it. That's one of the things where it's like, if I do it, like, yeah, like I know the answer is it's fucked up.
That was the third.
There's entities.
That was the third.
Yeah. I know that it's fucked up. I know there's entities, and I know that there's a control over society.
Dude.
So because of that, it's like, do you really need to know every horrific thing that happened or every way that the world is fucked up? It's probably a little better to look at it like what is good about the world. But you got to keep in mind that just like in Squid Games where there was the glass panes, one of these glass panes you're going to fall through because it's bullshit. And one of them is real. And you choose. You want to jump on the real pad or the fake pad? And you can let people jump in front of you to decide first, or you can make the decision yourself. And if you make the right decision, you'll make it across first. If you wait for other people, you got to wait. You can watch other people, you know, and see that way. But eventually, when it gets to that last one, no one's going to want to jump to that last one besides the person who's confident. Everyone else is going to wait, you know, and wait and wait and wait. But how long can you wait? You know, eventually, time's up. Can't wait around forever. Can't be like, all we need is just that one dude to say, all we need is that one president just to tell the country what it's like.
Right.
You're going to wait your whole fucking life for that, bro. JFK already did it. You got sniped. You know, and now his nephew might have a chance.
JFK's nephew?
Yeah, RFK Jr.
Facts.
But RFK Jr.'s dad died running for president right after he won the primary. His uncle died.
His brother died.
So it just doesn't seem like there's a great chance of him being it. But maybe that's what we need, a good old-fashioned high public assassination for people to just really, like, shake him up and get him thinking about things. But I saw his podcast with Joe Rogan. He knows, like, he's aware of the, you know. But his perspective is that what he wants to do is he wants to jump in and put all the mortgage rates at 3%. You know, actually make it so people can afford to buy their house. That's the first, because he knows that the 3 top companies in the world, they're buying up all the houses and they're trying to own everything. So what's the best way to help people? Put the power in their hands. Give them ownership. Actually own your house. You're not doing that with the 10% to 11% on 500, 700, 300, 400, 600K, bro. When you only make how much a year?
Right.
You know, but if it's only if it's actually affordable, where if you sign up for this 15-year plan or whatever, you will own this house. You know, and then you do it, and then that 15 year you own, now you can give it to your kid. You know what I mean? So it creates ownership instead of one dude owning everything and you got to pay rent, and your kids got to pay rent in every generation. You know, so that's one thing he said. That's like, that sounds like a fucking great thing for you, man. You know what I mean? And on top of the fact that he's been suing like pharmaceutical companies and companies for the past like 20, 30 years. He like, whatever. He sued companies for having mercury in their vaccines, which led to autism. You know, different things, all different things. So this dude has been battling big corp, pharma, and on top of the fact he has his
legacy.
His legacy is
right.
Also, arguably, you could argue that the best president alive was in his family. You could argue that.
The best president that we've had, not alive.
No, not alive now, but
yeah.
the best. Yeah, exactly. That ever made it. You know.
I feel like.
So, it's not a bad
I had to
choice.
pick like the best president, and like Kennedy's definitely probably like top 3, but I would say like Lincoln was probably the best.
I don't know, because we weren't there. Did he really want to sign that, John?
By all means, I have no idea.
I don't know.
However,
this thing that Kennedy was like, you can go listen to his speech. He's telling you that there's a plan to enslave every man, woman, and kid in this country. What year is that? And my plan is to expose it by the end of my presidency. Well, his presidency ended pretty quickly. And I don't think they switched up their plan. You know? So it's like, that was how, like, that's so long ago, bro. You know? And it's like, but he literally risked his life. He literally gave his life for that information. So that a kid like me, when I'm 16, 17, 18, can stumble across that shit on Instagram. He had no idea Instagram was going to be alive. But that shit, someone clips that and shows you, and you as a growing individual hear those words. The President of the United States said what? You know? And then what happened?
I'll have to go find that stuff.
You know? There's so much. And then I saw one video where it looks like the driver shot him. Like the driver turns around and that's how he actually dies. You know? But it's like, who was there now? We drove by it. It didn't feel good.
No.
It didn't feel right. It didn't feel like you actually knew what the hell happened here. You know, because if you know, like, the story and you can feel it out, like, it feels eerie. But there's a sense of comfort knowing. But what you know about JFK is that he died here.
Yeah.
You don't know why. For real why. You don't know who and how.
We know what they said.
There's no clue for that.
You.
That clue game is forever not solved until the documents get released. But then what happens? Documents get released. Another shit happens, and then they get deleted. Blah, blah, blah. Shit happens. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this shit got released. Oh, did you know there's an alien walked into 7-Eleven yesterday? Oh, there's wildfires over here. Oh, you don't matter. Come tell us why you do. All those things all at once. Oh, did you see what we did today? We just killed someone today. You want to see it? Blast it on Twitter. That's
right.
What they do. Now you're all up in arms about fucking... Dude, gay people didn't even get a chance. When was it? When did gay people actually, like, they just got the right to marry, like, in a recent time?
And since we're going too political, I wanted to bring this up, the one we did on Thursday, but it just didn't feel right about it. I asked a couple different gay people, and I was like, genuinely, because I know how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the brown and black stripe on the gay pride flag?
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying a little bit about that.
And I didn't get a single, like,
None
of
like
I didn't even know that it was on
community?
there.
Yeah.
So I'm just completely out of
And
that
then
jump. But
because it was kind of a joint question. It was like, how do you feel about that? And how do you really feel about the plus? All of them said the same thing. The first was that, and this is just the ones I know. Everybody feels different. Everybody's entitled to how they feel. But all of the ones I know said they don't understand why it's there. Because I cannot relate to their problems any more than they can relate to my problems. I can't even relate to some of my own people's problems. I grew up in a very Caucasian town. I went to a very Caucasian school. I said this earlier. Like, I can't relate to a lot of my own people's problems. And so they do not understand why it's there. And then when I followed up with, well, how do you feel about the plus? Trans and homosexuality are not the same feelings. No. They are not the same emotions. 100%. So the fact that they're being lumped into this one category is wild. Exactly.
Dude, they stole the rainbow, deleted a color, and then added 2 more. What are we doing? And didn't put back the one they deleted.
And so
what the hell is that, bro?
And so, and it was crazy to me too that a lot of the gay people I was asking this question to were giving me almost verbatim answers to how I used to answer people when they asked me about Black Lives Matter. You are forcibly categorizing me into a group to fix the forcible categorization of a group.
Yeah, 100%.
You claim that we are starting this community to fix prejudice, and then your community doesn't include my say because you think I can't help.
Yeah.
That is prejudice.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I'm just a black dude. I can't help the black cause. What the is that? Because he's just a gay dude, he can't help the gay cause. No, he can help the gay cause.
Bro,
the issue
never
is
got a chance, bro.
The issue is the gay cause is also the trans cause. It's also the pansexual cause. It's also that, and that's not a problem because they're the problem. It's a problem because why can't you let this gay dude just be gay? Yeah. I know several gay men and women. I also know several trans people. they don't feel like they're on the same level.
You know who really brings up an interesting point, like similar to that? Speaking of Dave Chappelle, he talks about how he's like, he said like people get so mad at him for making jokes sometimes, and then he'll be like, he made a joke saying like, well, I'm mad at white people, blah blah blah, right? But then he says like that he's actually jealous of how well the gay community has, like, their movement has progressed, and you could almost say that the trans community is trying to piggyback off of the gay community. I just feel like that's what you're trying to kind of saying, that the gay people didn't really get a chance.
Bro, they didn't get like their 10-year thing where it's like they're fully like they're actually like they're still in states. They're still like trying to say you can or can.
Yeah.
And like, bro, like that is, bro. So you're telling, so they got like a couple. They got like a minute. And then then someone comes. It's like, bro, you're like, yeah, like you think of an idea, and then fucking Apple comes and just fucking, now it's the I whatever. You're like, wait, I didn't want to call it the I whatever. Too late, you know. It's like, bro, and so they didn't even get a fair to just be normal people, like viewed as like there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a person that you are attracted to men or you're attracted to women, and that's what you whatever. But then now it's like, you don't have to have a gender, you know, you can choose, and like there's some, and just push like a kid who's in that realm where they should be learning about themselves and trying to question the world or whatever. Now they're tricking them to question themselves, not for a good purpose, but for the next, like, am I a girl? Like, what the hell are you talking about? The kid's fucking 13, 12. But it's been watching this show for how it's been getting the 3-minute joke. It's been getting set up for 3 minutes, and now it's bang, 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 bang. And by the time that's done, you can't sit in your seat because you just got hit so bad, good or bad. You know, and it's
Right.
like those kids. That's what I think about. I think about that 6-year-old girl who's going to school, and each day she can come back with something new that might not be good for her, and you have to figure out how to navigate that. And then in time, how do I set up these things where parents or whatever find me or find us first, but now our animated things up there, or Bluey, if you like, okay, Bluey is a good show, boom boom, how do you find Bluey before you find the other thing? You know, how do you get that into people? How do you get the whatever set the parents can give the kids the role model, can give the kids this, set the path up for good, set them up to enjoy Pokemon versus enjoying like Roblox. You know what I mean? Like, set them up on the path like that. But if you don't have the tools or whatever and blah blah blah, then you know there's other people who are setting up paths and setting up whatever, and not for your betterment, but to trap you in, to get you into that NPC cycle where you wake up, go to work, have a family, buy your own house, everything, and you go like that.
I think that is in large part parenting, though, because like I know
it is.
I know a beautiful example of this, right, is the magnet tiles that Carter has. There's one day I got off work, I plopped on the couch, and I literally thought to myself, I can sit here for 2 minutes or else I'm gonna fall asleep. And he snapped me out of that like thought process I was going on to show me that he had made a box with his tiles, but he had stuck his little car in the middle of it. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a display. And in my head, I was thinking, I didn't even know you could do this. I wasn't going to say that out loud to him because I want him to think everything he does and will do, he's always been able to do.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
However, I then learned later that was something that him and Bree were doing together. And for me, it's like, okay, I didn't bridge that gap, but I also know that I sat with him and played magnets for who knows how long. You know what I mean? Before y'all bridged that gap. And so it took the combination, and even if there's not two parties, it takes just being active enough to be like, okay, here's what we have already present. Yeah. Like, if I have Pokemon, it takes me being like, all right, that having the patience to teach someone 100%. Below me. You know? It takes you sitting with it and not letting Amber win to give her the drive that we have to even when we're playing football on our knees with my 2-year-old, we're still going out, we're still getting sweaty, we're still actively like not worried about getting injured because we're like, that's that competitive nature that has been instilled by somebody else taking the time. But nowadays we're not taking the time, and that's the reason, like you said, how do you get them to this show before this show? Why are we watching a show right now?
Yeah, true.
Why aren't we outside? Why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, I agree.
And I know, like, a beautiful example using my own son. He watches a good bit of screen. Like, and that is a conversation me and Bree have almost daily. Like, all right, how much screen time did he get today? Does that mean we should limit it tomorrow? What was he watching?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it also plays in.
But that's why he's blessed to have you guys. You know, but but some people
don't have that.
Everyone's just kids having kids, right? So it's like
I talked about this before we left because we were talking about dishes, and I was actually gonna lump it into what I'm saying now. We were talking about how Bree's done dishes every night before going to bed for like the last week, and she brought it up and she was like, it just like I feel so much better doing it. I was like, and honestly, once you started doing it, they probably weren't even that hard, were they? And she was like, not at all. And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that. Like, once you actually start doing dishes, it's not like you're spending the whole time thinking about doing dishes. A lot of times you zone out, you're in your own conversation. Yeah. I know when I was a kid, I never remembered doing dishes because I spent the whole time thinking about telling my mom off for telling me to do dishes. Like, like you're not really. It's maintenance, it's care, it's that monotony that you didn't want to start, but once you're in it, it is what it is. And so it takes understanding that and understanding that the only reason we wouldn't do dishes every night is because when we were a kid, we didn't want to. And so, like, I'm still a kid. I don't want to do dishes. I'd much rather be 100%ing bully than to stop playing a game and do dishes, especially because I'm in control of what time I go to bed. I'm in control of what time I wake up. If you had the
installment of knowing what doing the dishes does for you.
And so it's the time, and I feel like a lot of the things we have talked about, like across this whole podcast today, about like reaching the masses, about having that collective of that percentile, about having even the 1% that's controlling, like all of it is about, in a sense, is about time management and about what are you subjecting yourself to. What are you subjecting yourself and those around you? Because the more you subject yourself to even this, right? Let's take somebody who let's take me that's not here. Gets off work. I worked, we'll say, all 3 jobs. And I've only ever had to do that once, and I really didn't have to work the one at the restaurant. I just had to go in and I offer to help because I was already coming through Picture City.
We've had some.
But
I was throwing names out like crazy. A
lot of work for Ryan. But if I am listening to this, right, and let's say I wake up tomorrow, I have to be careful when I listen to this. Because there are aspects and there are times in my life where I can't be in this mentality. And I can't be thinking about what's wrong with the world. Because I have to show my son what's right with the world. And that was a big, big concern when Bree was pregnant.
Facts. And that's why in one aspect it's good to have more people on. So the conversation flows from different people's thoughts. We're not every week. It's not, the podcast isn't called like travesties of the world. It's like ocean waves. Literally, the waves sometimes are rocky, sometimes they're smooth.
Sometimes they bring trash, sometimes they bring pearls.
Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, it's like, and then also with us in the with the music and everything, not every song has to be open your mind. Not every song, but you gotta have one of those. It can be Light the Sky, or it can be Break Mold. So many different. Or it could be Brainstorm, you know what I mean? So all these different vibes, and then the videos and whatever, this will all mask to, you might not be able to listen to the podcast right now, but I can listen to Potion right now, you know what I'm saying? And I can show my kid Potion right now, so all those things. And then for kids having kids, that perspective, like, that's why I don't fault anyone, because when they were a kid, they might not have had they're getting targeted now, and like when you're a kid, and the kids now they're gonna have the worst because they've been targeted for longer. And we open our phone, ads, whatever it is, whatever you search, we're gonna get targeted in some way. A video that we might be more inclined, you might be more inclined to click on any one of those videos that you send me, versus like one that's about like a political person talking. Someone else's Instagram is gonna be those political people saying whatever, right? So it's like all those things. It's like if we can get the people who, even the person, maybe not the 10-year-old or whatever, but the person who's 24, in 3 years they're gonna have a kid, and if we can influence them at all in those before those 3 years happen, now that kid's journey will be even better because now they've this and all along, all along the way. In any moment, I have a line that basically you can change a soul in an instant. It's like, and it's not gonna be like this, like, boom, I'm 10 times smarter, I'm boom, boom, I know everything, but it's gonna be, whoa, and that moment where you, just that spark of idea, universe, that expansion, that mind expansion, just the slightest bit, and then once you do that, and you just need a little bit of direction, and then you take it, you go on your own. But some people, just like the Giver,
Just allow the space to open.
the Giver, every day they wait, it's all cut.
Do you
like
know
black
how
and
little
white,
people
right?
know about the Giver now?
That's great. I read that
I
book.
love that
I read
book.
that book in school.
I did
Yeah.
too, but they don't have to anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And because I asked around about it, and I've come to realize that, like, holy crap, there's so many people that do not. That was just a given for me, ironically enough. And there's so many people that just never got it,
Yeah,
and so they don't see that color.
but for the people who haven't got it, exactly, the black and white, and then you can start seeing the color or whatever. So once you see it, though, you're not forgetting it. Like once you get that little moment, that connection where your minds connect, that unspoken word that you both hear and you both know you heard it, and you're like that. Those moments, that weird, you see the trees talking to each other, all those little moments, you can't forget that now. It might be just like a dream. Like, this is actually a good question. Do you guys ever find yourself walking around and realizing, oh wait, that was a dream?
Like about a memory.
It'll be like, so just a metaphor, like just to pretend, I dreamed that you stole my pencil. I wake up the next day, I see you, I'm like, fuck you, dude, low key, and then I'm like, wait, I dreamt that. You know, do you get, like, I had that
all the time.
Yeah, so
me and Bree do it to each other a lot, and it's never like we're rational, so it's never like, oh, holy you went out and slept with Ryan Seacrest. Like, it's
Ryan Seacrest. You are American Idol. Congratulations. How'd you get here? I just just like Ryan.
They're definitely, especially like conversations. There are a lot of times where, like, I do it to her all the time and she does it to me all the time, but we'll just like continue a conversation and the other person's like, what the are we talking about? I'm like, we already premised with the da-da-da-da-da. We never talked about that. No, we never talked about that. Like, and it's such a surreal moment because it's real to your brain. Because at the end of the day.
But those dreams, like, you won't forget, like, my craziest dreams, I remember. One dream I had that when I woke up and then my brother told me that Ready Player One was a movie and I watched it and I was pissed. I will always remember that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not when you're awake. But I also had a thought. I remember when I was walking. One time I was walking and I just had a thought. I was like, we're in space. I'm on Earth.
Just
we're in
rock.
space.
Yeah.
So I was like, if the Earth blows up, or if you just take the Earth away, I'm still in space somewhere. I'm still here in this exact space. And I just, like, that thought opened my mind up, like, even farther. I was just like, oh shit. I just, whatever the reason,
You
just
have mass.
that picture
You
of
have
being,
mass.
that picture being there of, like, removing the Earth, but you're still floating and the sun's still, like, you just, like, I was like, oh shit. So that, whatever. So whenever, and that was back, like, probably early. So whenever I was faltering, because, like I said earlier, like, when you first start expanding, the people around you are going to try to subconsciously stop you. Not your fault, but they are the ads or the virus from the system based off what they're going to send those people. You know, it could just be like, you stole my pencil. And you're just in that thought, like, I remember that you stole my pencil. What? Lost it. You know? So just that. Or like, let's go see this movie. Influence you that way. You know? Or whatever it is, you know. And even that one thought I said where it's like you could have two people text each other and they never knew that they texted.
And But it's funny we're going on this too about the whole mindset of like not being able to. You're always gonna see it. That's everything though.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you've ever done is stored inside your brain.
Yeah.
There's just it pings more. Some things ping more. Some things that ping so little that you can't ping them manually. But everybody has those random memories where it's just oh shit, I remember when this happened, and something just connects the wires close enough for that electron to, and that memory calls back up. Everything you have ever experienced has a memory in your brain.
That.
And we were talking to
It's like Inside Out, right?
Yeah.
me and Eddie were talking about this.
Even though it goes in the pit, it's still there.
We were talking about this on the way here, where I was saying how like meeting my brother-in-law before I even knew my wife would be my girlfriend, versus seeing him now and him having a room in my house, right? Like that's still the same kid.
Yeah.
Entirely different scenario, entirely different being, but it's still the same kid. And then I transitioned from that into talking about how meeting him when we were in kindergarten, first grade, this is still the same kid. I'm still the same kid.
Yeah.
But we are now both
You just see it
years in the future,
Yeah.
and we can look back on that. And so that's where I also say what you're subjecting yourself to isn't just in terms of media. It's not just in terms of people
100%.
and friendships. It's in terms of had I dreamt back then that he took my pencil and I dwelt on that. And I thought about that dream every day until it became so real that Eddie was just a thief in my brain. This is no longer the circumstance. We don't know each other years down the road because my 23rd birthday, who knows where, who knows how far away from him. Oh, I remember this one day when this kid in first grade took my freaking pencil.
And I didn't ask him about it.
And I thought we were cool. I thought we were going to be best friends.
Yeah.
And so it's all about what you're subjecting yourself
crazy.
to.
Yeah.
Who you're
100%.
subjecting yourself to.
It just a little.
Yeah, so
just a moment.
fast.
If you slap Calvin, or no, make it more realistic. If Calvin slaps you,
Make it more
and
realistic.
someone walks in, and you slap Calvin,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "What the fuck, bro?" You know what I'm saying? But he just slapped me. But you walked in a second late. Your perspective is that he slapped. You know what I'm saying? In that moment. But then 10 years later, you live your whole life based off that you slapped Calvin, and you see a recording security camera that Calvin slapped you first. Now I'm like, I lived 10 years of my life thinking that Eddie was an asshole. But it was Calvin.
I mean,
You know? It's like just that little perspective, just you putting so much into whatever, and not listening, because I'm sure there will be other signs around you that are telling you no or yes. You're just not listening to them or looking at them. You know,
Right.
You're not yielding.
there are other trees
You
talking.
just blaze through. You know, so. But yeah, I hope to be in many memories in time. You know, and just even for myself, remember myself better. You know, so. But yeah. I definitely feel like the best thing to do is to stay honest, true. You know, be the same kid you were. I'm just more elegant now,
Yeah.
right? Keep it like that. Keep it where when I'm 45 and someone's trying to talk trash, we can walk up to Shannon Sharp, sit on that podcast, and lay down the line of what actually happened, the truth. And the people that are listening know it to be true. Because of everything of your character the whole time.
Because you proved it. Because of what they subjected themselves to of you.
Yeah.
Made it worth it to go hear your side.
Yeah, 100%.
And
you know it to be.
It's the whole life is just perspective.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Nothing but it. Because like you said, that dude walking in thinks Eddie's the asshole. Or it might be a black.
But if that dude accepts love, over his own perspective, then he can find the answer in that before it was shown to him later.
Even then, though, and it's funny you said that as I was saying, if that is a hardcore BLM black dude, walks in, just sees a white dude, and his brain, it's brotherly love between me and him. So if he starts beating the fuck out of Eddie, that's my best friend. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, he hit you.
Yeah.
I hit him.
Yeah. But then if he was able, in that moment, if he listens, he can find the answer there. Yeah. But if he just walks in and just takes that with him. Doesn't act off
See-
love. And that give take, like the universe, if you align yourself with who you are and what your purpose is in the universe will put the things you need in front of you. Just like the other day when it was me, you, and Jason talked about his interaction at the place and your interaction at the place and how you saw them later.
Mm-hmm.
And both you had the same inclination of we saw them and we just, the universe is putting that right back in your thing. Who knows what leads after that?
Mm-hmm.
But you learned enough, or you did the right enough thing to allow that just to go, But maybe if you saw him doing something wrong, you might have another thing. If he was yelling versus like feeling, you might be more inclined to do whatever. But the universe wasn't showing you that side anymore. The universe was showing you this side. And how are you about that? And you make your decision. You always get that. Like it'll always come. You'll always get the chance. You know what I mean? At some point, like you'll always have some sort of chance. Like, a flood's about to happen. There'll always be like the drip, just like the faucet Jason was talking about. If we would have noticed the faucet, the flood wouldn't have happened. But we didn't.
I also wanted to go back to 2.
Nobody wanted to go
I
back
said
to
it
2.
so many
Facts.
because and it wasn't because of the
That's hilarious.
faucet. Like I didn't even know about the faucet. I didn't care about the faucet. But I left my knife out on 2. And so all I had was my gun, but I was literally catching bodies with my knife. And so I was like, we should go back to 2 so I can get my knife. And I was like, I'm going to go back to 2. And Eddie was like, no, you got to come with us because you're a medic. If Ryan dies, you got to take the gamble again and all this.
Yeah.
Which
You could have brought me back the first time. You wouldn't have left your knife on that.
I
Bro.
could have rolled right. I could have rolled right.
Yeah.
And then it could have brought you back. I didn't, but I could have. There was a possibility. I figured the gambler of all people would appreciate that. The gambler who never gambled.
It's level 1.
The whole. It's level 1. How hard
Podcast
could
17.
it be?
How hard can it be?
All right. With that being said,
Do you remember? After all this, I tried to keep it going a little just to see if it could spark any memory.
17.
A memory about 17.
I think you were 17 in the No More Hurt, No More Feels video. If that makes you feel any better. Nah, you might have been
I think that's probably
a little younger. Which time was that? 2nd, 3rd, 4th? I have like a.
I would have been 18.
It's not like quite a blackmail video. It's just like a I told you so video that I made him film.
Something interesting fact about when you were 17. What do we do that? I lost my virginity at 17. I'll say that.
Was I 17 or was I?
I was a late bloomer. I was a kid for a long time. Played outside. Brought the kids together.
I think I was.
Interesting fact about when I was 17.
18.
I don't know. 17 just felt bittersweet for me. Just because, like, a lot of things happen. It was junior year, so, like, you just have, like, a lot of, like, stressors. Like, what are you going to do? Because, like, senior year is, like, a joke.
Yeah, like you're already basically, like, starting to apply if you're going to go to college. And if you don't, you got to spend the year saying you're not going to,
Yeah. Field all those questions and everything like that. And my grandma died when I was 17, so that was another bitter part. But then it was also just
what's your favorite number? 17. How come? Like,
but then there's also like good parts of it too. There's
Sorry,
good parts
sorry.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was dating a girl at the time. I was really into her and was really fun at that point in time. The relationship was a really fun time. I felt like very balanced in some parts, but unbalanced in other parts.
Facts.
So like,
just young, figuring things out. How do you know what you like if you don't try it? If you don't experience it?
Oh, the first time I did any psychedelic was when I was 17.
17. I don't know. I
think I was 18 for that
think I might have.
too. Not wrong.
I think I might have
Like
done.
right after
I don't know. I don't know if you can classify. I don't know. We took some shit out the vape pen one time when it wasn't vape juice or whatever. Or we not one time, multiple times. So I don't know if you. I don't know if I would classify that, but I did trip though. Like hard. First time. Actually thinking about it now. And then I tripped mushrooms, a way different experience, but yeah, I definitely did. So yeah, I would say 17. Yeah. Maybe 8. Maybe it was right after my birthday. I don't know. I can't remember. That timeline is so blurry.
Junior year. Where was I at junior year?
So 17. You said
I
girlfriend.
I was just on like cleanup
Big
crew.
year for you overall. What'd you say?
I was on cleanup crew my entire
I was gonna go over everything, like rehash it.
my entire junior year. Like
What'd you say, sorry?
I was just on cleanup crew my entire junior year.
For
like
what?
basically
Like metaphorical cleanup crew? Or like
yeah,
you're just picking up trash?
metaphorical.
What'd you do?
Metaphorical. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, metaphorical. Like all of the just stupid that people around me were doing, I was fixing.
Sure.
So I was just making sure that nothing. I was preventing ramifications, a lot of ramifications,
True.
junior year for a lot of different people. So a lot of things that I put on myself to rely on me that realistically I should have just let people go down for.
Yeah.
I met Calvin's wife when I was 17.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's true.
Shout out Bree.
Yo,
Shout out Bree.
Shout out Bree.
shout out.
Yeah, she's been on here.
Her birthday was on here, on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, called her.
Yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah, dude. I don't know. Anything else, guys? This was a good one, I think.
I
Yeah.
think it was pretty solid. It was
Gonna
deep.
have to little edit. Gonna have to do
Yeah.
a little bit of editing. Not crazy, just a
This
couple
one
of
was deep.
the name drop slip ups.
Yeah, and then like the first 12, 15 minutes.
No, we're
Not
gonna
being
keep that in,
recorded.
but we're gonna put
Put the dude
Technical
on.
We have-
Yeah.
what day? 14 was Sunday. 14 days. 2 weeks from now.
So what I'm hearing is you need both. You need both the technical difficulties and the
No,
you don't need the
we don't need to. We don't need to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? It's progression. But for what actually happened was we didn't have the beginning, and I don't want to put the logo anymore and whatever. So for just so we don't just do one. Oh, let me just do one. Let's do the one.
Heard. I can
So let's do that. Technical difficulties or whatever you want to do, whether it's the little characters, whatever you guys think. I can think of ideas and just send them in. But in 2 weeks we need it. By like that Monday, so when I edit it, I can just put it in. I can do the whole video, already edit it, and then just wait for the picture. We can put the picture in. So it's not. But we should, as a group, all like get, whether it's Bree or
Collectively go
you or
towards
whatever,
that, yeah.
just start getting on it. That way we can have that. So that way, at the beginning of this podcast, we'll draw them in. Something new.
I'm gonna figure that out this week. Figure out how to make like something like that. Like just something that like
But even so, just a drawing.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
like-
1,000%.
But yeah, that's what I want to do too with the
Viewers,
iPad and
right,
stuff. But
yeah.
with the monitor, and now I'm gonna have to edit all these. Like I'll get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But I was more focused on getting everyone else. 'Cause I want to do the storyboard, so I want to start getting that going
Word.
for the main movie.
Right.
And then I want to run it over with Jason. And then obviously you guys, we can run it over and just whatever new ideas from 2 years ago, Jason and I were talking to now. There'll be more ideas or whatever. So, but
I don't think we ever actually introduced ourselves. In this
we didn't.
podcast.
Good call,
Yo.
Eddie. Indigo Ryan, the Navigator. Episode 17.
Episode 17.
Ocean
I
waves.
have been and
Indie
always
Dwin.
will be not Indie Dwin. I am.
Eddie's like IKT.
Yeah, after you left, when we signed out, I didn't do vows.
Yeah.
I am Calvino, the your choice. It has been great.
Ryan,
It's
the
been
Navigator.
wonderful.
Always
It's
here to
been
navigate,
beautiful.
help, assist, stay true.
The kin, always here.
Appreciate
The talk.
anyone who watches, who's watched, who will watch. Oceans on Arrival, all platforms, and many more things to come.
Might
Thank
I point out,
you.
this
No.
is my same mic that's been set up for several podcasts, so Eddie can suck my left.
You did make it through too.
Bye.
And you're sleeping. All right.
Well, hold on. I want to say one thing because I'm not letting Calvin just get that on their pin and just not.
Oh, but the lights off.
I'm welcome to podcast episode 18. Calvin sucks. Anyways, bye guys.
right.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.